Huzzah. Oh,
No.
need to stop, not let it echo. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, myself, later when I watch this.
Hoopsie doo. Hoopsie doo.
Gosh, my username. I haven't done this in a while.
Oopsie doo. Oopsie doo. I like that echo. Okay. How's it going, guys? Hope you've had the last 2 weeks of goodness, because well, I guess last game was sad, but at the same time, you managed to save a bunch of NPCs. There was one in particular I was trying to save. The rest just ended up being saved out of, well, because of you guys. I mean, you guys were totally, you saved them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can't get into Twitch. This is sad.
oh, that's okay. You can figure it out.
Having
Take your
bad luck
time.
today.
I am having really bad luck with technology.
Technology is dumb. I mean, actually, it's really cool, but yeah. So last time you guys were down in that sanctum of the Haven, where the Song of Life, a MacGuffin of epic proportions, was being held. There were bad guys. You got surprised. You fought them off. I couldn't hurt you as much as I wanted to. Bertolus was defending like a boss. I almost brought down the wizard, but the rest of you were there to support Win and Neolilfinith taking down bad guys. And then just at the right time, Vale and Dulavir, did some cool things of destiny and unleashed the power that's inside of the Song of Life. And it touched Win's. You kept asking, please do something, and trying to get it. And it just didn't seem to be working. And then when the energy came out of the Song of Life, that your spirit friend, familiar?
Both. All of the
The
above.
soul of an oasis in the form of a multicolored bird. It makes sense. Touched the energy, and Oasis appeared everywhere and did a little bit of healing. Neolilfinith had a private conversation with the bandit leader, and he ended up dying. And apparently he cut his own neck, is what it looked like when you guys glanced that direction. Is Neolilfinith, I think you stepped back from it as he was doing it.
Yeah,
But then you got your dagger back.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And then you went outside to find Win's mother.
Did not know it was my mom that was in the tent.
You guys did not look before. See, I was gonna have you find it. Maybe my goal is to try and get you to look through the camp, try and figure out what the heck was going on while they had set up their ambush further in. And they left the body there just to piss you off. And I was hoping that would say what the stakes are. But then you just skipped that and didn't find it until after. We had a funeral where we built a funeral pyre and had some, brief ceremony. There was some discussion about what to do next. We decided that Sencretor, it's the one that's the most on the way. I was going to bring up a map here. One of these things is the map. Yeah. Portrait. I have Hammerfell loaded, but not the big one. I can do this. Image. Map. Oh, that is the only... Well, you guys, I guess, can look it up on yourself. Look up a map of Tamriel. Tamriel map. And we can point you guys in the right direction.
Vale is comfortable that everyone else knows where they're going.
Perfect.
Oh, Vale.
What? What? I just saved this. You're right, Christina. I hate technology. I give up.
Welcome to the dark side.
Save. Why didn't it save the first time? Oh, it's because I tried to save it as Tamriel.jfif. Apparently.
Jiffith.
FIF. Why did I hit what? I don't know what I'm doing.
It's okay, buddy. You got this.
Aha. Ah, oh yeah. Oh, so good. There it is. Look at it. Taking up the whole freaking screen. Perfect.
Ooh.
All right. This is Tamriel, right? I just want
Nice.
the map. We're going to make it smaller. I don't know if you're looking at the stream. You can look it up yourselves. You guys are way on the west side in Hammerfell, right? You're like almost a western, in the middle of the west area, like where the little curly Q and the H is of this map. Yeah, that I'm looking at. To go to Sancretor, it's pretty much right where Skyrim, Hammerfell, and Cyrodiil, those three different provinces, meet. South of Falkreath, north of Coral. So you have to go pretty much straight east, though going straight east pretty much keeps you in the desert the whole way. It gets nicer the further east you go, but the elevation increases, weather gets worse.
Could we maybe go south or north around the desert?
Well, south is more desert.
Okay, not south.
So, and north is a massive range of mountains.
Either way, it's gonna be a pain in the butt.
So, yeah.
Is there a spot where the
maybe-
mountains...
I mean, we can try and go to the edge of the mountains and then walk along that, but it's, I mean, that might be our best bet. But, I mean, that's basically the direction we're heading anyways, is not quite going all the way up into the mountains, but not quite going that far south, so...
I hope you all don't mind the cold.
Well, wouldn't it be either the cold or the heat?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I guess this is your home terrain, Win, this desert, right?
yes.
Is anyone from the mountains? Cold mountains?
I've been in them, but I make a point not to spend too long in the cold. It has a tendency to drain your resources.
I agree with Razor. The best thing to probably do is to follow along the edge of the mountains until we get to where we need to go.
So north to, what is that, Skaven?
And then over.
And then east to Elenhir, maybe? And then from there, venture into the mountains? All right. Yeah. Naomi, I have your father's name right here. I can never remember. I'm dumb. Sorry.
Baris.
Yeah, Baris. And Dulavir, they're gonna come with you, but they start talking about like with your dad's health the way it is, and Naomi being older and just going through this whole thing, they're unsure if they can make the journey into mountains. They've never really left the desert in their lives before, just like you had before. So they're unsure if they can make the journey. They haven't figured. They're not going to figure out. There's going to be some discussion to try and figure out what they're going to do or where they're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where are you guys going afterwards?
I mean,
They'll meet you somewhere.
if we're going to Skaven, Wynn would preferably not cause many waves. The best thing to do is probably just to have them stay in the desert, in one of those bigger cities.
Here in Hammerfell somewhere?
Mm-hmm. Even though we're not city people.
Well, so the thing is, they're determined to still help in some way. Like this is too important. What you're doing, like the world. Like what else are they gonna do? They have suffered the same losses.
Not die.
Death is a part of. It's a risk. They don't think they will be helpful in the mountains.
No.
So they're not just going to be dumped off in some backwater town. I mean, you could leave them behind, but they might find their way into doing something.
Wynn already voiced her opinion on the matter.
Okay.
Well, let's think of it this way. Naomi, you have an incredible amount of knowledge of your people as a wise woman. One of the only, it sounds like, remaining wise women in Hammerfell. Perhaps what you would be better off doing is spreading that wisdom to the people that need it. We are a small, skilled group of individuals that are much more likely to pass unnoticed if our group stays the size that it is. The fewer of us there are, the easier it is for us to slip by. If we were to take you and... I'm sorry, sir, what's your name?
Baris.
Baris. If we were to take you and Baris with us, you may just slow us down, or make us more visible. Red guards are rare enough in Cyrodiil as it is. No offense.
None taken. They look at each other and they're like, "That." I mean, I guess it makes sense that people like us aren't common in other foreign lands, and we are unfamiliar. Perhaps we can be useful here. And where could we see each other again? Your dad is like, I do want to see you again soon. Is there someplace I could go to meet you, or at least contact you?
Wynn is very torn.
I am closely watching Wynn's reaction. Like, I have the stoic face, but it is a pointed gaze.
I don't know. Because I want to stay in contact with you, and a part of me doesn't want you to be part of this, and then the other part wants you to be part of it. I just can't put you guys in any danger that's already passed. To contact me, I'm not sure if that's wise. seem to be a curse rather than anything else.
My daughter. Why is fear controlling you? I saw bravery out of you.
You mistaken bravery with foolishness.
Oh. Yet here we are, and your foes aren't. As long as you aren't as foolish as your enemies, it seems.
If it wasn't for Vale, you would have been dead because I was very hot-headed with the person who would have been your Deathbringer.
So maybe we should ask Vale then.
She turns to look at Vale.
Yes, ask the boy.
I think that the journey we are on is a long one. But the outcome, when we get to the end, and we have brought peace, and we have brought comfort to this land that it has not seen in the last decade, then there will be plenty of time then for you to choose your own path. When the path of destiny is not tugging you one way or the other, you can walk back here and spend that time with your father. But as you've said, fate has its grasp on you, and that is the route we are taking. But fate is not unkind, for I was there, and your father is still alive. And I'm sure that if his destiny had been to die here and for you not to see him again, then things would have been different. That is not the path in front of us.
I know that because I left, that all of this bad happened to the tribe and to you and to Mom. And her voice cracks as she says Mom, but she gets it together. Because of that prophecy, that once I left, so would the death of the tribe happen. And I didn't think it would ever happen, and here it is. You two, just the last of it. If I leave again, I fear I'll never see you. Ever.
You're not wrong to fear. Just don't let it control you. Only fools don't have fear.
Why are people looking at me?
I feel torn between multiple paths. And I feel like it's too dangerous for you to come along, but if you don't, then this might as well be our final goodbye.
Dulavir steps forward and says, I'll protect your family. Plus, I need to learn from Naomi anyway.
The littlest sword singer steps up to the plate.
Nee was gonna very purposefully just kind of be like, mm-hmm.
He says, and like, again, Dulavir, his like cloak is still too big for him. He looks really kind of, like a kid who's got, like, his hands are too big for his feet. He's lanky, skinny. Okay, close my window.
Oh,
Our paths don't end today either. Even though you and your father may choose different routes, for at least the next day or two, our paths will be together, and you'll have that chance. You'll have that time at least. And I think that for many in the world who saw such death and destruction years ago, even having a few days is but they would give much for that.
Not wrong about that.
I think our paths are going to diverge then. But I would not be adverse to receiving some letters every once in a while. And she kind of gives like a hopeful little smile.
Where should we send them?
What's that one place where our main like place of operations is? I can't remember.
We have one.
Well,
I think the closest thing would be the
You could send them to
Temple
the
of
Imperial
Dibella
City.
in Imperial City. Yeah.
it would probably because we're gonna have to go back anyways, so maybe a few times. So that's what I'm gonna
That's
do.
the hope.
So I tell him.
Okay, well, we'll find a safe place here and send letters to the Temple of Dibella in the Imperial City and then you can respond when you get them, and we'll figure it out from there.
Right. And she gives him a big hug. And it like lasts for a while. You can tell she's like trying to keep her shit together.
He is too. And maybe that's like, you've seen this look on you. You're like, oh yeah, my dad's. I remember this, like the look on his face, like when my grandma died, or something like that. But he does his best to keep it together. It's a reg tour thing.
Right, yes.
It's like no crying, no crying.
No crying.
Promised myself I wouldn't cry.
Okay. Any other things we need to get in order as we travel?
Nope.
Cool. So the first few days spent, you maybe even go back to the oasis. You can refill your inventory on the magic water if you'd like. I don't know if you guys actually spent any of those, but
I gave like all the water to my dad.
nice.
Yes.
And then on you go to, I mean, Skaven's the biggest. There are other towns, obviously, but Skaven's the biggest city. Is that the spot where Naomi and Barras and Dulavir break off?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, so that's a week-ish of journeying. What are you doing that time? You guys have a week of traveling, spending time with each other.
At some point, Neo is going to find time to just sit with Bertolus. Probably 2 to 3 days after we've set out on the road. Maybe he has watch by himself or something, and she'll just go and like sit next to him.
Bertolus.
I think for now, he doesn't. I mean, he acknowledges that she's there, but he doesn't like talk much. but he is not unappreciative of her company.
I think what's also going to happen is when it's going to sit down with Razor, because she feels like now like a kindred spirit within him of loss.
That's good, because I'm spending most of my time off by myself drinking, having silly conversations with this Daedra that's traveling.
Oh,
with us.
right, and that as well. Almost forgot. There's a Daedra. There's a Dremora in armor.
How could you forget the Dremora? He's so
just forgot.
Dremora-y.
Yeah. What's the plan? When you guys make it to like a road or any other traffic, or as you get closer to the city, what do you do?
I mean, I would advocate for avoiding the roads, but we do have an old man, a severely injured young'un, and a rather large party these days.
I'll just have him. We'll get some stairs. If anybody asks questions, I'll just tell him that he's a hired bodyguard. As long as nobody looks too close at him, they're not going to know what he is.
Let's hope.
There's nothing
Can
much
we-
to look at around here.
That's
Can we get a cart and throw him in there? Just cover him with a sheet?
Yeah, we could order him to do that.
He might be unhappy about that.
Well, he's unhappy about everything, so
Well,
there's really no sense in trying to make him happy. In fact, I think the only thing that would make him happy is to see all of us dead.
well, that's a little depressing.
Well, he's a Daedra.
I thought we developed a rapport at our fight. Maybe I earned some of his respect.
No, he thinks you're an idiot.
Well, I'm an idiot he couldn't kill.
Yeah, and that's why he hates you.
I guess I can take a little bit of pride in that.
Yeah, I mean, take what you can get. Hold my beer.
You'd
I think-
have to let go of it first, Razor.
Well, that's fair, and I can't do that.
What do you talk to
Also-
him about?
I guess I just talked to him about like, so yeah, when you first came through the gate, like, where'd you attack?
Okay. I am not here to make small talk with you, mortal.
I mean, I could order you, I guess, but if you don't want to talk, then I'll just vent towards you, I guess. It's like, you see, I ran into a bunch of you fellas in the city I was in, but managed to close all of your gates there. Massive pain in the ass that it was. You guys are tough. I'll give you that.
It
Mayrooms
is
didn't-
unlikely you met any of my caliber, for else you would not be here.
I think I've met some that are a little bit higher caliber than you, partner.
Wow.
Dang.
No facial
shade.
expression behind his helm.
It's like, I mean, yeah, you're no, you're no Daedroth or Frost Artronach or anything like that. You're definitely much better than that, but Zavilli? They're a little tougher.
We Daedra know our places. It is you mortals who struggle for status.
Amen to that. Status is everything to a lot of people. Not looking at Bertolus.
Yeah, so Win, this is the conversation you come walking up on.
Says the mage.
Fair point.
Oh,
As I'm speaking in Daedric.
Yep. And the you're pretty sure that the Dremora is looking at you. You can see its eyes through little slits as it just stares at you.
Eh. I'm not too impressed with that, Dremora. I don't really understand. Like, to me, it's probably just like another different kind of elf.
See, if he can fool Win, he can fool anybody.
Right. Well, Wynn has been sheltered most of her life, so she's like, I don't know. Maybe it's like a different kind. I don't know. So she sits down and like she seems to know like where one of his bottles is, or she actually just takes it out of his hand and then takes a sip and sits down.
Well, okay then.
You're the only one that has alcohol, and I feel like I deserve at least a sip.
I mean, yeah. But, I mean, you could always ask first, but sure.
You seem oddly protective of it, and especially when it goes missing.
Well, that's because it keeps going missing. Because somebody keeps stealing it.
That's a rude thing to say about Bertolus.
Throwing me under the bus like that.
I mean, there is someone good at illusion magic here.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to keep your secret, Vale.
I know it was one of you, and I hate that you're all in on it.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Takes another casual sip.
Uh-huh. Was there something else that you needed?
Maybe. Just your coping mechanism works well enough for today. So I choose to partake in it.
Well, it's worked well enough for the past couple of months.
But in the end, it's like she takes another step and like makes a disgusted face. She's not quite used to this kind of swill. In the end, it only is a temporary thing, right? Pain will still always be there no matter what.
Yeah.
How do you even, when you're not drinking, how do you even cope? Knowing that no matter what you did or what you could have done, it wasn't enough.
You don't really. You never really get over the shame of your failures. You just sort of keep moving forward, I guess. You could always stop and die, I suppose. There's no rule that says you can't.
I won't do it, much less you would either. There's still something more out there. You and I both still have hope.
I don't know.
Me perhaps more than you, but it's still there.
Yeah. I think you definitely have hope. I think I've got morbid curiosity.
You know, I think you care a lot more than you try to admit, because what has happened has led you into such drinking habits, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But I think you and I both know that there's a lot more happiness out there. We just gotta allow ourselves to grieve and hopefully be able to move on.
I'm just glad that you were able to send your family away. I've seen what good intentions and a willingness to help leads people who are unskilled enough to deal with the trials ahead.
I still doubt that I am of any kind of caliber enough to help you guys. My knowledge of anything is, and she like waves at the Daedras,
Mm-hmm.
glaringly obvious.
Yes, when you look at this guy and compare yourself to him, you'll find that, you come up short. He doesn't sleep, doesn't eat. He is just simply a being that exists to kill. And they're damn impressive at it. However, You, unlike this sad sack, have free will. You can choose what you want to do. He is never going to be any more than, well, a tool to be used by either myself, someone else,
It
or
takes
the
a step
prince that
towards
he
you
serves, or the prince that
and puts a hand down on its blade.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, making friends, I see.
It's like,
I also live forever.
yeah, you do. This is true. Although you could argue that mortals also live forever, in some sense or another.
Yes, I like torturing their souls when I get the chance. Yours will be a particular delight.
Oh, I'll bet it will be. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. In the meantime, step back and hand off the sword.
He steps back, hands off the sword.
See?
Jeez.
I need to be better though. And I know I fail in a lot of things outside of the desert that normal people cope far better. Do you think you could educate me? You seem to be knowledgeable of everything.
I can teach you as much as I can. But
I would
most of the path that you'll have to walk is going to be completely your own. But you took a good step forward in learning sword singing.
I need to know more in order to be better, and so
Yep,
some mistakes don't happen again.
Yep. We'll broaden your horizons, give you a stronger base so that you can specialize in sword singing to the most effective that you can. I think this
So-
is going to be the best way for you to move forward.
So you're willing to help?
Of course. I'm always willing to teach. It's the least I can do.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And she just falls into silence and kind of just stares off at the horizon. She seems comforted in silence, and she doesn't seem to be too active anymore in
God,
wanting to speak.
what am I gonna do with this asshole? I'll figure something out. I just gotta think.
All right. We travel on a little bit more. The days go by. Outside, you're still maybe a day away from the big city, Skaven. When you are avoiding the roads, yes.
I would like to, but that's
yeah,
up to the group.
We don't
I
have
think,
a wagon that covering up the Dremora with a thing. I mean,
right.
just-
I think we should just avoid the roads for now. I mean, for two reasons. One, obvious. Two, assassins.
Right.
Do all of us have horses, or just some of us, or did we get rid of the horses?
We should all have horses.
I think we have horses and camels.
camels.
Oh,
You
that's right.
could have also picked up horses because there were horses that the
At the
bandits were
camp.
using. Yep.
Right.
You let them loose and they kind of ran off a bit, but you could have recollected them. Yeah. So a day, less than a day, maybe. When you guys make camp, who's got somebody roll? Who we gonna have a roll off on perception to see who spots this first, and then you can decide what to do with it. So everybody give me perceptions.
All right.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Wow.
4, 2.
People
2,
are
3,
perceptive
2.
today.
That's Neil Lilfineth. Maybe
Hey.
you might be you've set up for camp for the evening. Or yeah, let's do evening. I like evening better. You're on watch. You're maybe just scouting out the immediate area, looking for some, I don't know, alchemy, whatever you're doing. And you spot 3 armed people. They seem to be making their way towards your camp. What do you want to do?
So they've seen us for sure.
You think they must have spotted the camp or somebody, or when you guys have camels, after all. They could have heard you or seen you earlier.
And me and Vale saw this, or everybody did?
Just
Is Vale also got a 4?
wait, no, really? 4? Oh, right, because the 4. Yep, that makes sense. You both, yes. So Vale is there as well.
Vale, I'm gonna raise an eyebrow to you, and then pick up my bow and vanish into the surrounding foliage. Or I'm sneaking away.
Yeah, I'll go over to the rest of the group. I guess probably Bertolas, he's not too far away, and kind of tap him on the shoulder and point in that direction and say, "It looks like we might have some company along the road."
Well,
That's my
Great.
stealth.
I can go say hi if the rest of you want to stay here and prepare for the worst.
Are we all sleeping? Or, like, what time of night is this? Is this like when you're doing shifts, or are we awake still?
Everybody's still awake. It's like you guys are
Okay.
cooking dinner, basically. You guys just set up your camp, making some food,
Wow.
sitting around. Like Dulavier, he's on his little bone flute thing
Mm-hmm.
that he's playing. He plays that pretty much every night.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, if
Actually really good at it. Gonna point out.
I mean, if Bertolas wants to go up to beat him, I'll join him, and I'll bring the Daedra with us.
So you guys are gonna
Is
get
that a
up and
good idea, Razor?
Well, if they're approaching us, I doubt it's because they're friendly travelers.
Wouldn't
Well, but I can go figure that out, and then if they aren't, that's when we can bring out the Daedra.
Hmm.
I mean, if they see a Daedra and then they run, then they're gonna tell people about the Daedra.
Hmm.
Wynn just shakes her head and goes back to stirring the literal pot. Seems like you guys have it under control.
That's right. Daedra's name was Kevin.
Oh my
That's right.
goodness.
I mean you can call him Kevin.
Oh, it's will it piss him off? Then yeah, we're gonna call him Kevin.
The most human name there is.
Okay, so my understanding is you guys are gonna go out and confront these with Neo in the shadows.
Mm,
Wynn isn't. She's gonna stay in the camp because Bertolus is a very good warrior. And then the Daedra thing is like if he dies, it's fine. And Razor is a capable mage. I mean, for 3 people, that's a little bit overkill already. So Wynn is gonna stay in the camp, probably keep an eye out for anybody else that might be coming around, but otherwise, there's no point in her being there.
People with 3 arms. How curious.
Yeah, Bill wasn't planning on going along either, so he's probably still around camp.
Dulavier will also hang back. He promised to keep an eye out for Naomi and Baris, so he'll hang back as well. All right, so Bertolis, Razor, the 2 of you, along with your pet Dremora,
Kevin.
head out with Kevin. You know that Neolithinith's probably nearby, hiding somewhere.
Oh yeah.
And you kind of step up. You're like on the side of this. You're on a flat spot that's like kind of on the side of this slope. So you kind of walk a little bit over it, and they're coming from the other direction. Just as you kind of come over the rise, you see them. The sun is pretty much just gone down. It's getting darker. It's twilight, and they walk up and they stop. One of them steps forward and puts up a hand. Looks like two. Looks like an Imperial, a Red Guard, and a woman elf, high elf.
Okay. I'm gonna have Kevin hang back and not approach any further with us until I tell him to.
Okay. He stops and waits.
And then me and Bertolus approach.
Yeah, we'll get a little closer, but not super close.
Right.
They say, hello, hail, friends.
Greetings. What brings you to this place?
We were working nearby in the foothills when we were beset by bandits, and we had to flee without our equipment. We're looking for a fire and a warm meal. We can trade for it if you can spare the supplies.
Do they look like they've been in a scuffle at all recently?
I think I've been making people roll speed. Yeah, that's perception. Let's do perception.
Perception?
Yeah, we're gonna do perception on this and see if they're
So
full of it.
You know, and speech. You could also do speechcraft to
Okay, I'll
see if
roll
they're
that
lying.
next.
Or I'm gonna get rid of this map.
I'm gonna do speechcraft.
Okay, you do that, and I do that. Yeah, there we go.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
One sec. Sorry, I'm gonna mark progress on something. Okay. Your rolls. You do not see Neolithinith. Is that a 3? Well, I'm gonna make. You guys should mark when you roll.
Yeah.
Say you could do a space and enter in the name of the skill that you're rolling. Because sometimes it's coming back to this and trying to figure out which rolls are which. Oh yeah, just like Rob did. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. That 3 I got is for primary perception on these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I started doing that fairly recently, so.
4. So the first one is you got the 4. That's to see Neo.
Yeah.
Okay, Neo also got a 4. So you're not 100% sure, but there's a splotch of shadows and like rocks and trees kind of up to the side, and maybe you saw a shadow moving around in there.
Okay.
But you're not 100%. It's you think there's somebody hiding in that area, but you don't know exactly where.
Okay, I'll just try to slightly maneuver to like the other side of these guys, so we're like she would be
Some
more
kind of
in between
position.
us than
Sure.
just a little bit if I can.
Got that line of sight.
And then your speechcraft, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
You think their story matches up, or at least what they said seems to be true, but you notice all they said was we just came from some work, and you're not. That sounds like they were trying to keep that private for some reason.
So I'll just say, care to elaborate on your line of work?
They kind of look at each other. The woman, the high elf, steps forward and she says, we could discuss that, but first, I've always feel safer after having broken bread with someone in these encounters. I could come and leave these two if you would like. I can leave my weapon behind.
Very well.
Sounds reasonable to me.
The other two look and they're like, we can't let you freaking go out there by yourself. We're supposed to be. And she's like, shh, shh. Just take my stuff, and I'm gonna go. And then she walks over towards you, and they stand back further. And one of them's like, well, it's gonna get cold, so hurry up, please, my lady. And she kind of looks back at him like, watch your lip.
Boy.
But then she walks right up to you, like within, I mean, not awkwardly close, like, but close that, Bertolus could probably jump on her with a sword pretty quick. And she, may I come to your camp?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm on my horse, so I'll offer her a boost up.
I understand the suspicion. Like I said, we were just attacked.
We'll talk more when we're back
Right.
at camp.
Very well. And then, she follows you back to the camp where Vale and when you see this group, a high elf woman, tall, slender. Neo, what do you want to do anything up there in the shadows?
Just watching.
Watching. Okay. She steps into the camp. She greets hello to the rest of you. My name is Raslin.
I'll go get some bread.
Wynn takes out a couple of like extra banged up cups and whatever else utensils we have, and
She has a large pack, by the way. She's got like a backpack and like a satchel that seems to be just stuffed full of stuff. I should mention.
Well, Vale makes some space by the fire.
Wynn keeps an eye on them. She isn't too trustful, but she scoops out like some of the stew that she made and hands it off to them first.
She nods. Thank you very much. And takes a piece of the bread and dips it in the. It's like flatbread, or whatever rations you guys managed to get. Dips it. Eats some. So good. They're going to be so mad at me that I am eating without them. Oh, but they can wait.
I'm sure they'll get over it.
Then she sets the stuff down to the side, and she starts reaching in her packs, and she says, like I said, I can trade for supplies.
Okay.
What sort I can pay with money? Is that what you want? I have some.
I like money.
I would still
Money
prefer
makes
to,
it. Money is easy.
I would still
No.
prefer to know what your business is out here.
She opens up her pack. He's like, well, let me show you. Reaches in and pulls out what look like artifacts and old pieces of stone with carvings on them. And she lays a couple of them out, unwraps some jewelry, she has a couple of Ayleid crystal, those Wilkin stones, small ones, that she pulls out, looks in, number of smaller potions. She goes, we kind of need these, puts them back in her pack. Um,
You're
there are
awfully
some
trusting.
who would call. She looks around at Naomi and Barras, and she says, "I'm a good judge of character."
I look over at my dad and Naomi.
They smile at you, and he's like, "You're traveling with the elderly. You're not, unless these are your prisoners, which I don't think they are.
No.
Means you're not bandits."
Of course not.
No.
You also
But
have camels.
Yes.
Where is
Oh,
it that you are heading?
We're headed over to Skaven.
Oh, good.
Thinking
So
make
are
it-
we.
By the end of the day, or end of tomorrow, that's the hope. And then perhaps we can get enough people together to go try and find the rest of our equipment. And there are some who might think of us as raiders and scavengers. She kind of looks at you.
Raiders are different than scavengers.
Well, yes.
Which are ya?
I prefer not to think of myself as either one of those. I like the concept of
Archaeologist.
that's it.
Believe me, I found myself in a similar line of work when I was younger.
The others, they like the title of treasure hunter, but
Well, to be fair, a lot of those
That
alien
implies
runes do
something
have
different.
treasures in them, so.
she has a notebook with. She reaches out, pulls out of her pack notes of the different things that she's found. Puts that back in, and then she keeps eating her soup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
Well, I don't have any trouble with.
Oh, what did you do with the Daedra? Is he was back there?
yeah, he followed behind us.
'Kay.
He's gonna stay off sides.
She's probably nervous about that, but
Mm-hmm.
hasn't asked.
How
Yet.
very polite. Well, I suppose I'll go collect your other two companions and bring them in.
Oh,
Since
please, thank you.
seems that there's no real threat here. We've been hesitant about meeting anybody on the roads, just not quite safe anymore.
So you go and
So-
fetch them.
Yeah, I'll go collect her two companions.
Neo, from your vantage point, you see this happen. I don't know, maybe if you can see directly into the camp, but they lead this high elf off, and the other two wait, and they kind of discuss back and forth a little while, and then one of them says something to the other, takes off his pack, and starts sneaking.
Fire a
Roll
warning shot in front of
Never
him
mind.
so that he stops.
Give me a roll. I want to see how good you do with this.
Goal is not to hit him, just to let him know that he's been caught. In theory, that's gonna go well. I'm consistent.
Yes. You are good enough to fire a warning shot at this distance with a +4. So he's kind of creeping forward. You stick it in the ground. Does it skim off a rock?
Just plops directly in front of him, like where he would have been in a few seconds.
He stops, looks down at it, goes, "Watch out!" and rolls to the side. Gets back
Okay.
up, looking
I don't do anything else. I knock another arrow, but I don't draw or fire.
Do you like reveal where you step out of your? No,
Nope.
still in the bushes.
Just watching.
So one guy's like rolling around on the ground, kind of being like, "There's a ambush," and the other guy's like, "What?" Standing there with a pack, 2 packs. And it's like, "What do you?" I think if they wanted to kill us, they could have. And he's like, "Oh God." Anyway, that's when Razor comes walking up.
Mhm. Well, we've determined that you aren't. Well, you're not a threat majorly, so you're more than welcome to enter the camp. Neo, you can come out now.
Fine. I'll come get my arrow.
Our stalwart sentinel in the darkness.
It looks like we're going to need more food. Rip my arrow out of the ground, put it back in my quiver, and then go back into the woods. Or, we're not in the woods. I don't know why I keep thinking we're in the woods. We're still in the desert. I can't actually go hunting here. I doubt there's root vegetables to find, so...
I guess you'll
I mean,
just have
snake
to
is
come
pretty
back with us. Or slink off into the shadows and come back later.
If I can't actually go gather food, I will come back to the camp.
Aw, I feel so honored to have you traveling with me.
Don't make me hide more of your booze. I'll do it.
So the 2 of you, the 4, the guys give each other their pack. You take this back, and they.
As we head back, the dude who is rolling around on the ground, I'm just gonna like dust off his shoulder a little bit as we head back.
He looks at you, looks back. Bernard. Nice to meet you.
good.
And the other guy shakes. The other guy like shakes his head, and keeps walking. Yeah, they join in. They see that Raslin has been eating all this whole time already, and they shake their head and they're like, "We knew that you were just getting first dibs."
I hand them their portion of like stew. And then I go over and I also give Neolithineth her stew too.
Take it. I'm gonna sit directly across from the dude who rolled around.
I'm gonna chat with the high elf about her finds in archaeology.
Yeah, that was definitely what I was doing while they were gone too. If they had anything exciting, happy to chat with her.
It's she has seems like most of her this journal at least this is expedition has involved ruins of the Alessian Empire.
Ah,
They're
a fascinating subject.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is.
Alessia was the one who rose up
Founded the empire.
against the elves, the Aliens.
Mm-hmm. Favorite story among humans. I'm surprised you don't know that.
She says that she's been, followed she likes, what's his name?
Well, he is part elf, don't you know?
That's right. That's right. I am. Thank you.
Pelagus?
Mhm.
Pelalala.
Pelagius.
Pelagus?
Or
Parsley, parnip,
Parsley.
parlay, parlay.
It's there's this myth of this guy who fought with Alessia who he was like the Terminator, like just wrecking face,
Mm-hmm.
destroying hundreds of foes at once, and he was like, similar stories of like the hero of Kvatch.
Yes.
Pelalu?
Peniel. Peniel. I think it was Peniel.
Does anyone in chat know? I don't know. Yeah, that. She is talking about that. And the inner circle of Alessia, and one of them retired, supposedly, in this area to a fortress somewhere in this area. That was abandoned before the Septim dynasty took over. But she'll talk to you about this stuff a lot. The other two, you get their more laborers / security, and they do talk about like, we're treasure hunters, we're super cool, the Bernard, he said, hey kid, what's your name? I'm Bernard. Good to meet you. What are you doing out here? He's talking to you, Vale. He just called you kid.
Yeah, I was guessing.
He's like, you're like looking around like, kid.
Oh, we're on a mission to save the world.
Oh gosh.
Of all the people
What
saved
you
the
say?
world.
Yeah, I'm the chosen son of Mara, and we're doing good. Destiny is the path we are following, and currently it leads to Skaven, which I think is where you're headed.
You're the son of Mara, one of the divines.
Just go
Yes,
with it.
I guess you got some. Yeah, yes.
Just go with it. It makes him feel better.
Well, by golly, I feel like I should order you a drink, but we kind of are out of drinks.
Everybody looks over at Razor.
We'll pay you double for one of your drinks there, and I'll give it to the kid. You know what? Drink.
That seems unwise. Like, or maybe the word I'm looking for is silly.
Silly. Well, not what. I don't know. I just feel like I want to buy you a drink, good sir, hero. You all right? You're gonna be saving the world, just like. Yeah. Wow. Tell me more about your. Do you piss flowers and fart smelly good aromas by chance? Just asking.
Are you asking if I have the powers of the divine?
Well, I've just heard stories, people have talked about, the divines having mortal children. Just heard, Do you, do you bleed?
As with all the
Does
children of the
it, do you
divines, I am.
have, is everything, like you have all the organs, right?
Blank stare.
So, what exactly you guys looking for in Skaven?
Do you ask the two dudes?
Whoever is attempting to question
right.
Vale, I'm very purposefully inserting myself in the conversation.
Bernard's the more obnoxious than Arthur is the other one. That's right there. One was a Red Guard and one an Imperial. Bernard is the Imperial. Arthur is the Red Guard. Bernard, he looks at you and he says, well, I've got some friends in Skaven. who gonna help us go get sweet revenge on a bunch of bandits, you know? Turn them into the guards. If the guards are still doing these things, they might be too busy. But if they don't, I know some people.
You
we
are
put a contract out with the Fighters Guild.
connected. Ah,
Yeah. See, I was a member of the Fighters Guild for a while, but I quit because the pay was too low. So now I'm doing this. I'm Treasure Hunter. It's a lot better, and I'm way more successful than the Fighters Guild is always keeping me down. And like in the background, Arthur is just like shaking his head.
is treasure hunting where you learned to roll away from danger so successfully?
You learn to have a keen sense of things, so you react really quickly to perceived threats and danger.
Interesting. In the Knights of the Dragon, I learned to run towards the danger.
Side eye.
Bert.
Mhm.
Well, you don't want to run towards collapsing tunnels. That would be foolish. You got to run out of there.
So you would roll away from collapsing tunnels?
So I could roll, and he stands up, and he kind of does a little like, I could roll, or I could dash across, and he like runs fast. I don't know.
Quinn is like really getting more and more annoyed with this person. Like she's visibly like rolling her eyes. And then she looks over at the priest lady and she's like, "Really, lady? This is the best you have?"
Best that money can buy.
Bernard, after he kind of runs, he looks over and takes a couple steps back from the Dremora, from Kevin.
Accidentally rolled too close to Kevin.
And he kind of backs up, looks. Hey, buddy, how's it going? And the Dremora takes off its helmet and looks at him. And the guy goes, "Holy shit, Daedra!" And he rolls away.
Well, at least he's committed to his
Then the
rolls.
Dremora, it pulls its blade and takes a couple steps forward. The others are all he pulls his blade, throws it up. The rest of them are panicking. What's her face closes her journal and it's like, "What, Daedra? What?" And she stands up and like starts grabbing her pack, putting it away, stepping back from you.
And the rest of us don't move at all.
I proceed to shout, "Stop!"
Takes
Kevin
another bite.
stops. Smiles,
I put
shows his teeth.
put your
Okay.
helmet back on and back the fuck down.
Puts his helmet on and takes a couple steps back and then kneels.
So you've met Kevin.
Stay.
Yeah, we picked him up. The enemies of ours were trying to use him against us at the last recently, but so now we have him around till we can find what best to do with him.
They look. You have a day. What? You're
Yeah,
in
Kevin.
control? What if that thing breaks free?
It'll kill us all, most likely.
Yeah.
Hey,
tried
it
to.
tried for several minutes to kill me, and it did not succeed.
Which is why we don't antagonize it.
Raslin, she says, how do you control it?
And then I, inner professor chiming in, "Well, you see, this device here is a rather complex device, but it allows me control over this Daedra."
And she wants to see it. Yeah, she would like to see it up close.
I will let her see it, but I won't let her actually hold it. It's like I must insist that I
Takes it. I was the bandit all along. Oh.
I insist that I keep hold of it as I need to retain control.
Yeah, she looks at it. She's like, oh, a soul gem. These are conjuration marks, correct?
Yes.
Oh, my knowledge of magicka is not very great, but impressive.
Mm.
Who made this?
I wish I could tell you. All I know is that the people who made this are quite skilled in magic, and I'm going to assume that they might be high elves.
Does it work on more?
I don't think this one works on others, but I think this
Perhaps
is
the soul
specific.
gem needs to be attuned.
Yes, I think this one is designed to specifically control this one.
Well, and how long have you had? How long?
In a couple of days. He's not exactly a wealth of information on any subject whatsoever, other than his fascination with dismemberment and killing. You know, typical fanfare for Daedra.
Uh,
So have
yeah.
Art Bernard and Arthur calmed down at all? Or are they still pretty?
Bernard is still. He's like standing back. His sword is still in his hand, and he's kind of backed up. And he's like, "I'm just gonna." He sits down, like puts his sword across his lap. Arthur had gotten up and like started to pull out a sword, but he's just standing there watching quietly. Whereas like Bernard he like sits down, but he's doing the classic like knee bobbing like on his toes, and his sword is kind of like moving around, and he's like nervously gripping stuff. He's just a ball of energy all the time.
Mm-hmm. Regardless, you'll be more than safe enough. Kevin, I order you not to kill anybody until I say so.
Arthur asks, what are you gonna do with it?
I honestly have no idea. I can't let him go, because if I do, he'll just kill us all. Or try to, anyways. And I can't exactly keep bringing him along where we are because of, well, you epitomized the reaction most people would have very spectacularly. I thank you for that demonstration. My hope is that I can eventually get rid of him, but he has proved useful so far.
Arthur says, can you destroy him?
He did mention that he is, in essence, immortal earlier.
Right. Yeah, killing him wouldn't really do anything other than, I guess he would reform at some point. Although I guess technically if he died here, he wouldn't be able to return to Oblivion as of yet, so could kill him, technically. But I'd rather not. I'd rather send him back to his home plane if I can. Consider it a
Send him
mage's
back?
curiosity.
You should kill him.
Yeah, that's actually really hard. I was trying for a good while. No dice.
I understand.
Killing blindly due to ignorance leads to more ignorance instead of understanding.
Like, I understand where you're coming from. Believe me, like this creature has probably done enough that deserves a death warrant. However, imagine yourself if you were trapped in Oblivion. I assume that you
The
would
difference is I'm not going to Oblivion to invade and conquer and murder.
Mm.
They came
Yep.
here to our home.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but the difference is they didn't choose this
How do you know?
because I know they're they don't have free will
yes.
like you and I.
Convinced.
They're just they just exist to serve their masters. It's like whatever free will they do have is only to satiate their own morbid bloodlust and love of
Yeah,
conquest.
they get to decide how they kill you.
Right, but the option to choose whether or not they kill is
I don't know if we should stay here tonight, guys,
not
says Arthur.
not up to them.
I mean,
and
no one's going to force you to stay here. Feel
yes,
free to move
but-
along if you wish.
I mean, to
Raslin
be
is
fair,
like
we could
Arthur.
have killed you 20 times over without the help of him.
Mhm.
Ah, easy,
Whoa, guys, let's not
easy.
show all of our cards.
But yes, if you don't feel safe here with him, then
Wait,
by all
do we
means,
have more cards?
you're free to leave.
Yes, Bertolus, we're very skilled.
Oh, right, yeah.
Ah, mortals.
I can certainly understand your trepidations.
If
And if my word's not good enough, that's also completely understandable. I wish
Raslin
you-
says, we appreciate the safety of the group. And she looks around again and her eyes fall on Naomi and Barras. Like, if it's safe enough for you guys, and Vale. Yeah, she looks at Vale too. Like, there's unarmed.
The child.
She maybe realizes
he's
that Vale's not
20?
actually a child, but just like a young man.
18 and a half-ish?
Dulavier also kind of looks childish.
I'm actually pretty young myself. I'm like 19 or 20.
Yeah.
I'm almost
But I've seen some
200.
shit.
You're all children to me.
Yeah. But if it's safe enough for us, and Arthur kind of quiets down and frowns, and he'll sit next to Bernard, who's still like, "Hey, don't be a pussy." Okay. All right. Yeah, we're gonna be fine here. I'm brave.
I can
Brave.
guarantee that you have nothing
Probably doesn't
to
use.
fear from us unless you bring the danger yourself.
Right. I mean, if you tried to attack me, then the Daedra would most likely rip you to pieces. But I mean, if that doesn't happen, then you're fine. Nothing other than the odd bit of showboating on his part, which he gets no end of amusement out of, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's got his hat on. You get the impression he really enjoyed pulling
Oh.
off his helmet right there. And
Oh, believe me, I know. Because I also secretly kind of enjoyed that.
Oh God.
I was like, oh,
that's
look at
concerning.
this guy showboating and being a dick.
Secretly, huh?
Look at this guy showboating and being an idiot. It's like, and then he got the crap scared out of him, and it's like, I don't even feel bad about that. That's just funny.
I mean, yeah, it was.
Bernard, you've made so many friends.
Me? Yeah, I'm really good at making friends.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, I mean, the Daedra likes you, so.
I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna say I'm taking first watch because I can't do this anymore. So yeah, my character is gonna get up and say I'm doing first watch and kind of walks and starts doing a perimeter.
Bernard points and is like, "What's wrong with her?"
Oh, she's had a difficult go of it recently.
You're Naomi, Naomi gets up and also walks over to you. Doesn't necessarily say anything, but she kind of walks with you.
You missed your chance once again, Neo.
My chance at what?
Never mind.
Yeah, what? What?
To go on a walk?
None of my business, I'm sure.
Are we going on a walk?
Are you a-
Can, I
Are
guess.
you a
Do you
dog,
want to?
Bertolus? Do you want to go for a walk, Bertolus? Do you want to go for a walk?
Get the leash.
God, guy.
I feel
You know what?
insulted.
Bertillus, let's go through those drills. I believe we were
As
practicing
Razor
dodging
took-
arrows.
Yes,
Yes.
effectively, not rolling on the
Yes.
ground.
Well, and
Effectively not rolling on the ground.
oh,
And
Shots
Shade was
fired.
road.
come on over this way. We wouldn't want to alarm Bernard.
Sounds good.
I think that means that Razor and I get to entertain the guests.
Pretty much. Good
Oh,
luck.
are
Good
we-
cop, bad cop.
Yep. For entertainment? Good cop, bad cop.
I mean, Bernard seems to be self-entertaining. He's like a toddler.
Well, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't really care about her two lackeys. I'm more interested in what she's got to say. She's more of the scholarly type. Obviously, has seen some stuff. We'll compare notes.
Yeah. And like I said, yeah, a lot about the Alessian Empire.
Yes,
In that
her
time.
champion. Her champion. Have you ever heard of the theory that her champion was not, in fact, elven or human, but was in fact a minotaur?
Oh. I have heard many theories regarding the true aspects of Pelelilu. Peleg.
I think it's Peniel, but yes.
Oh, don't type that into Google. I said don't type it into Google. Pelinal?
Pelinol.
Bless you.
Yeah,
It's penicillin.
Pelin.
I was gonna say there's some
It
side
almost
effects to
sounds like
Tylenol,
it's
right?
like
I mean, it's
Tylenol, yeah.
Pelinol.
Premature aging, something, I don't know.
Pelinal White Strake. That was his.
Yep. Pelinal White Strake. There he is.
There was a theory that he was in fact a minotaur, because some referred to him as the Bull Man.
Described by Morehouse as an Ada or spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Avatar of some sorts.
Right.
Illustrating Pelinal, however, he exhibits significant bonds to Akatosh as well, as he had the Amulet of Kings in his chest in place of a heart.
Which is kind of dope. Yes, well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because we were actually heading towards Sankertor.
Senkertor. I was briefly there not long ago.
Oh. Tell me, how has the site held up?
I mean, it's thousands of years old and has suffered calamities more than once.
Mm.
It's empty still, but it's possible. Well, I left that area because of the fighting. Was getting close.
Fighting with who?
That rebel general, Marian Sulla. He's got the Empire all in a tizzy.
A rebel general.
Very briefly, if you remember the woman who Vale met, who was upset that her son went off
Oh, yes.
to join that's that conflict.
Right.
Marian Sulla was in High Rock and took his army and after the Oblivion Crisis was like, hey, the Empire's falling apart. Stay with me to be strong.
Right.
And secured his shit in High Rock and then invaded Skyrim and defeated and conquered. And some people bowed. I mean, he was... Yeah, maybe you don't know a lot of details, but he's
Right.
torn it up quite a bit. And now he's in the Geralt Mountains.
Okay. Oh, I see.
The Empire is attempting to hold them off, but and you remember like finding weapons and armor was difficult because the Empire had been and was using the Mages Guild, forcing them to use their services because this war is testing.
I'm glad that we are headed that direction then, for
Yeah,
it seems like there is a need for peace in that
Oh
on the
boy.
north.
Yeah, that's why.
Yes, I'm sure you'll be able to bring peace.
I mean,
Nope.
of course.
I love your optimism so much.
We have done so here in Hammerfell, have we not? The
Yes.
war
Yes,
between
I wouldn't
this
call
leader.
what that was a war, but yes.
Well, we start small, work our way to the bigger things.
Sure. Regardless, it's disheartening to hear that.
Yeah, but so she says, yeah, it's still you're gonna go to Syncrator. It's dangerous times. Dangerous times. I wish
Yes.
you the best.
I think we can handle ourselves. I am a pretty experienced mage myself, so
You hear that? He's tooting his own horn.
I
Razor.
I think
That's what his
I
voice
think
sounds like.
I think we should be able to handle it.
Yeah. So she's happy to keep talking about random history things.
And that probably continues for quite a
Uh,
while into the night.
She says she didn't spend much time at Syncrator, by the way. Like she has no secrets necessarily for you that's gonna help, but
Right.
has
I
been,
figured as much. So
because
we'll
it has tied. It's got started, I think, in the Alessian Empire, if I remember.
Mm-hmm. That's where she got her visions.
Mm. Yeah. So so she'll talk. Arthur stays quiet and is like every second, he'll only look away for a brief moment, but he keeps coming back to looking at at Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
And Bernard tries to ignore it, but is clearly like keeping his distance and trying to be cool when he's actually quite nervous.
Right.
And do they have bedrolls with their stuff? No, they'll offer to buy if you have spare blankets or anything.
Well, we should have some spares.
Maybe we're able to
Yeah.
gather some things. Sorry.
I will totally let them borrow at least tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they're willing to pay, but if you just hand it over without, they're also willing to not.
Yeah, I don't ask for money.
Cool.
It's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
They had one, so they just need to borrow two or something.
Right. Yeah.
Wynn is okay with sleeping without a bedroll.
Mm.
She probably won't sleep too much tonight, anyways.
Yeah, but do you like stay up and keep the fire stocked?
Yep. That's what I do.
Can't
I'm
Dulavere, he'll
Probably
play
gonna
his.
stay up with Wynn and help keep the fire stoked.
Any teaching of the magic,
Mm.
learning new spells.
Well, if Neil Ilfeneth deems herself to have enough free time, You did express interest in learning the paralysis spell.
I did. I'm still very interested in learning that spell.
Well, alright. I'm more than willing to teach you a few of the basics, but I hope you don't mind if we go over here while we discuss a few things before I commence with my tutelage.
I suppose.
Good. First and foremost, I have to ask, what were you doing in that prison?
Being in prison like the rest of you? I don't understand the question.
Someone of your skill wouldn't find it very hard to get out of a prison like that.
Well, the marks that they give us kind of
Oh, right.
negate
I forget about that sometimes.
negate any attempt at simply leaving.
I understand that, but as we've already run into, there are plenty of ways to get rid of those marks on the outside for someone who's as clever as yourself.
Anybody still wearing gloves to cover up their mark?
I thought we got rid of the marks.
Well, you got...
We have them canceled out, but
So you have the mark that shows that you're a prisoner, and then you have the mark that
Oh.
shows you're an ex-prisoner.
Yeah, so I still have the mark of an ex-prisoner, which I wear gloves for.
Cool.
I probably don't have gloves on.
No, I have
In
leather armor. I don't think I have gloves.
I mean, eventually I'll take them off. If I do.
but I didn't know anyone that could possibly do so. Didn't seem worth the risk. I'm sure you could have left just as easily as I could have. Why were you still there?
I was working off one hell of a hangover.
Sure.
But no, you're not wrong. I still want to know why you were there, though.
I was convicted of killing a hunter.
I see. And did you?
Yes.
No?
I believe they charged me with murder? Though I was simply defending a principle of mine. I don't suffer fools who hunt more than their fair share.
Mm.
Follow of hearsay, you understand.
No, believe me, I get it. I'm well versed in the Daedric princes. I know full well what Hircine's domain is.
Apparently
You
that's
killing
not a
somebody
good
who
enough
overhunts
defense.
Makes it makes a certain amount of sense. Maybe not to man's laws, but definitely to Hircine. You did the right thing. And you're sure you weren't, paid to kill that person, right?
You are accusing me of being an assassin.
I wouldn't say accusing you of being an assassin. What your profession is no business of mine.
And yet you ask such a pointed question.
I would simply like to know my students.
Know that I'm working with you, and that's good enough.
Fair point. I will admit that when somebody like you ended up in the prison, I half thought that you had showed up to kill me.
Why would I be after a man who's slowly killing himself? You'll drink yourself to death in time.
A fair jab. But I've got the Morag Tong after me, which makes sense. Wouldn't be surprised if the Dark Brother has another contract out for my death as well.
Because of the city that you destroyed, or
Yeah.
that you feel you destroyed.
No feel about it. I know it. I know what I did.
From your story, I sense that there are more factors to the outcome than you allow yourself to calculate, whether it's guilt or moral quandary.
Probably.
Something of that scale is not only your fault, though your decisions may have helped lead to that conclusion. You have to remember that you didn't know the hero of Kvatch, the champion of Cyrodiil, was going to prevent an invasion of Deidre. You did what you thought was best at the time. Your students did what they thought was best at the time.
I mean, no, you what you say sense. It makes sense. It all makes sense. However, I'm afraid that there are still plenty of other people who won't see my side of the story.
Well, who cares about them?
Well, the assassins they hire and pay for.
So you kill the assassins. And you keep going. Your
I think you're-
survival is defiance.
Well, I think you're giving me a lot of credit where it's not due.
You're still alive, aren't you?
Only just. However, you've satiated my curiosity. I will more than happily teach you these abilities. I have no doubt that paralysis will prove a useful skill to you.
I agree. You don't happen to know the Night Eye spell as well.
I would.
Perhaps
That's all the spell.
you could teach me that one as well.
Oh.
Although at this rate, with everybody wanting to learn from me, I feel like I should take a certain portion of my day to just start up school, as it were.
I mean, I've never heard a teacher complain about having willing students before.
Fair. It's been a while since I've had students. Who knows?
Perhaps.
I might have to sober up for that.
Perhaps if you do well enough, I will hide your booze more obviously.
Appreciate that. But yeah, after this, I'll give you a lesson, and then I will start basically having regular lessons daily while we
Hey.
travel. And spending time with all the party members individually, helping them improve in the areas that they want to improve. While also simultaneously, like we're gonna go over some basic stuff, which I know is hard for some of you, but we're gonna do this because I'm not gonna be the anchor here for that. It's like you guys need to learn stuff and retain information. You're gonna learn the basics, damn it.
Paralyze.
So does that mean I should pick up some necromancy too?
No!
No.
'Cause
Yes.
I think it's the only one I don't have now of the magic skills.
I mean, necromancy is just a sub-school of conjuration, but I mean, if you wanted to learn about it, it's kind of icky and frowned upon, but I'm not going to say no to teaching somebody about it.
Well, I will need one more skill.
Like I could teach enchantment.
I mean, if you're averse to the bloodier sides of combat, I wouldn't mind showing you some ways to avoid it that are not magically inclined.
Like hiding.
And dodging.
Dodge!
Duck.
I mean, that seems reasonable. I would like to I mean, if someone tries to stab me, I would rather not get hit.
Right.
I share that opinion.
Yeah, I think you'd benefit from learning how to not get stabbed. Like, I feel like that should be something that we make time for in our lesson plan. It's like, Wynn and Bertolus can help you learn how to not get stabbed.
True.
And Neil Ilfeneth can help you avoid not getting shot.
I mean, I'm doing that with Bertolus right now.
Yeah, adding one more student to that roster. So yeah, we've started a school. Cool.
Well, it's things to keep us busy on the road.
Right.
I mean, I can't spend my time searching the undergrowth for edibles or other game. Might as well spend it doing something.
Learning about the spell that you want to use and then stomaching the rest of the information that I throw at you.
Yes, I know about the first mages. All right, I've already learned that. That was like 40 years ago, man.
Well, okay, if you're so smart, then tell me what you know about the Psijic Order.
They haven't ever mattered to me. When am I ever going to encounter them?
You say that, but you never know. How many people thought that, like, oh, Oblivion doesn't matter. It's not like it's here. It's never gonna impact my life, and yet here we are having Oblivion impacted all of our lives.
Well, then I'm glad we have you here, so you can know all of those things.
I'm not always going to be here.
I don't know. You said you're like 200 years old? I think you got another 50 at least.
And lived up to be 300 plus, I'll have you know.
Although you do drink quite heavily, so if your liver gives out, maybe 15? Probably 15.
My grandfather lived to be 135, and he drank just as heavily as I do.
135? You're already older than him.
I said 335.
Hmm.
Did he?
He didn't. That would be the booze talking. You can see it's already addling his brain. Maybe we should find you another teacher, Vale. Somebody more stable, reliable.
I can put the drink down and long enough to teach my classes.
Well, at least one of them.
Anyways, we're going to learn about the Psijic Order today. Regardless of
boy.
whether or not you find that information useful.
Do you mind if I do alchemy while you talk at me? I'd like to do something productive while you teach.
Oh,
If that helps you at any capacity to retain the information, then by all means.
Oh, absolutely.
You're lying to me, I know this.
Start pulling out my alchemical stuff, organizing my ingredients.
You know, I'm just gonna hope that subconsciously you absorb this information.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you can't reach all of your students. You just can't. It's like, and then the Psijics created, they did this thing, and then they made paralysis.
Oh, we've lost Bertolus. Bertolus!
Yeah, paralysis. Yeah, I got it.
Maybe we should move on to something else.
No, you're doing wonderfully. They did this, and then they did that, and then they discovered paralysis. Carry on.
And you can go like this, and you can go like that. Paralyze is an expert level spell. It takes a plus. You got to roll a 3 on your check, and it takes 3
Mana
magicka.
points.
It'll take you a bit to learn from scratch. If you had a tome, it would go much faster.
But we don't. So, the long way it is, baby. But yes, a useful spell. As are all spells. They're all useful. Still baffles me that you don't want to learn how to breathe underwater or walk on water, but fine.
We've already discussed this. I can swim.
Swim, yes. Can you swim and shoot a bow?
Very few people
I don't think
can
bows
do that.
work underwater.
Oh,
Not particularly well. They don't,
Yeah, you
Bertolus.
can if you're walking on it.
But if you're shooting something in the water, being on top of it doesn't help. That would only be useful if you were firing across a body of water and it was too far for you to make the shot, in which case they are likely not a threat to you and you can just leave. And if they are a threat to you, then you just go under the water so they can't hit you as well, and you leave.
You can always end the spell.
Then why learn it to begin with?
Okay, so let's imagine that your prey is leaving on a boat.
Then you fire a fire arrow at the boat and catch it on fire.
Or you sneak on and you light all the beds on fire.
Mm-hmm. And then
Or-
Cut a
cut holes-
hole.
and
you
cut
leap-
holes in the boat so that the fire doesn't quite spread to the rest of the boat, and the water just puts it out.
You gotta
feel like
set
that's
it
a
on fire and
reference to
sink
something.
it at the same time.
I think it'd be really fun to be able to breathe water, right? Like
There
you
you
just
go.
go down there and like look around.
Yeah.
You now have a willing student, Razor. Isn't that great? Veil, a font of learning, desire, and passion.
No, you and Vale are both gonna learn water breathing. I've decided.
Well, look at that. It's my time for watch. Bye.
So productive.
Let me teach you, damn it! Water breathing is useful. You'll regret this.
I feel like there's a difference between teaching and lecturing.
Oh, Razor lectures.
I do lecture that. Anyways,
So the night
traveling on.
happens. Sleepy time. Morning comes. The city is close by. You guys travel the rest of the way. The other group they walk a little bit separately. Still a little bit nervous, but they seem to like you guys for the most part. And you get to the city of Skaven, which is kind of a city in an interesting spot. It's kind of in flux between being sort of still required and successful and having undergone an attack during the Oblivion Crisis. So it's got, damage. Some of it's been repaired. Some of the neighborhoods were depopulated that got attacked. There's some of the nearby farming fields. They're trying to manage it, all under the backdrop of the Empire being at war and its resources being strained. What do you do with Kevin?
Tell him
Yeah.
to keep his helmet on.
Yeah, I'll order Kevin to keep his helmet on and to we'll cover him with a blanket, like a cloak. Yeah, so we'll put a cloak on him, cover his head.
Not suspicious.
Tell him to keep the cloak on, keep your helmet on, stay close to me, and don't say anything.
I'm also gonna cloak and hood up and stand if Kevin stands on Razor's right and follows at a specific distance, I will stand on Razor's other side at a specific distance.
I get what you're doing. Cool.
Clever. I like it.
I
there's
am
a
an
difference
assassin,
in
apparently.
the
I should
body
know.
type. Like clearly one of these is like this huge, almost 7 foot tall, like,
Yeah, there's a difference
and
in
then
body.
there's a Bosmer. But yeah,
The height
it works.
difference.
Whoop.
I bet you can't guess which one of those two is strength based.
They'll never guess.
It's the Bosmer. It's definitely the Bosmer.
Oh yeah, that Bosmer lifts, bro.
it's Bertolus. Duh.
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Win is buff as well.
Dude,
Yeah.
Win is fucking ripped.
Yeah. Probably the most ripped out of the entire group.
I think she outrips me.
Yeah. I was like, have you seen that muscle definition? Holy. You could
Will's
cut
not
diamonds
participating
on
in the
those
ribbon
things.
conversation contest.
Yeah, they're gonna let you into the city with those guns.
Yeah, you might need to check those guns at the city.
I'll sell some tickets for the gun show.
God, she's ripped.
Okay, well
I'm
that's
I'm old and insecure now.
A little jealous there, Razor.
Yep.
that's good enough to get inside the city, I think. Now so Naomi, Dulavir, Baris, they're going to find a place to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
They are able to. They first, Naomi sells a few things that
I
does-
give him nope. I'm gonna give him money.
Okay, how much
That's
do
what
you
I'm
give
gonna
him?
do. Well, I have quite a few septims that I was saving up for some elven armor, but this is a little more important. So I'm gonna give him 250 septims.
Okay, they say
Jesus.
that's
Yep.
that's
Money.
a lot. We don't necessarily need all that.
I don't understand money still, so
Okay, well they don't really either.
Look, take the money and get yourself situated. That's more important right now.
All right, so they find a small place to rent out for a bit, and then they discuss kind of a plan that they can find a way to get food and supplies while they're here. Your dad knows how to do woodworking, and he's a survivalist. There's many skills he's picked up, and Naomi also can do a lot of things as well. So they should have the skills necessary to earn some money, support themselves while they're here. They also, in that first set, the first batch of money they get, they buy paper and ink and quills, and she says, Naomi writes a note, and your dad adds a little bit, and they don't let you read it, and they fold it up, and they pay a courier to go to the Imperial City to deliver it to the Temple of Dibella. With your name on it.
time, and she's blinking away more tears than she cares to admit.
Then you got to get there to see what it says. And they hug you. Dulavir kind of, I'll keep a good eye on him.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I know you will do a good job. You are very talented, and you will only get better the more you practice and do what you can do.
Yeah, you too. I feel like you're the only other one who understands what I'm going through. So I'm gonna miss you. I wish we had gotten to talk more, but I'll see you again.
Gives him a hug. It's kind of awkward. It's more awkward than if it was Naomi or her dad. Kind of like a sibling hug. Pat on the back. You will do a lot of good. I feel it. You are gonna change a lot of things.
Pats you, nods. Yeah, okay. And yeah, I guess this is we'll be staying for the next while. I hope you guys have a good journey, and goodbye. He has difficulty just stumbling and finally runs off.
Before we go, I do want to talk to Naomi real quick.
Sure.
I'll just briefly as I go up to say goodbye, and I will lean in and say, I will watch her. You have my word.
She has a lot to learn still, but many lessons must be learned in life instead of just being dictated. Dulavir learns differently, I think, but yeah. And good luck to you, Vale. The world couldn't have gotten couldn't have gotten more lucky with you.
Small blush, but nods his head and
She puts another log onto the "You're the chosen one" fire.
yep, and turns and heads back to the group.
Dog, cat. Yeah. Anything else we want to do before we leave? You want to go shopping? You want to spend money, sell stuff? That would.
We
We have
do
something
have
to do.
things
We
to
don't-
sell.
You don't have to do the math right now.
Absolutely, we do.
We can just
We'll
continue
gloss-
on the adventure, and
We'll
you
do
guys
some
can.
selling, but we'll gloss over that. And we'll
Right.
do that.
Yeah.
We'll do the crunch later.
Yeah.
Might purchase some ingredients if they have any here, but
Mhm.
that'll be later.
Yeah, you can purchase some. Yeah.
Might have some fun with at Razor's expense here, making it look like I lean forward and while Razor's talking to somebody else and slink off somewhere as if I'm on a sneaky errand. My definitely not assassin cloak before I return back to the group.
Mhm.
And you
I know when you're having a go at me now.
Yeah, and then on the road again
The road again.
with the horses.
Yep.
Leaving the camels.
Oh.
You sell the camels. What do you do with the camels?
Well, or could we perhaps give them to my dad?
Yeah, I mean that seems like the wisest course of action. He could definitely use
He
them.
does know how to take care of camels.
So,
I would hope so.
a skill that he might find useful in that city. Perhaps he could find some stable work as a stable hand.
That's a good idea.
But he's very talented for a lot of things. I'm sure that they could find their way here amongst the city.
I can assure you they're much safer here than with us.
This is their safer bet, I understand.
I also know that it's difficult. But believe me, you'll take more peace of mind knowing that they're safe here than in danger with us.
She puts her hand on top of you, Razor, like on your shoulder for a second, and then she walks back down a couple of stalls, as though like she was trying to peruse them, but really she's trying to like discreetly wipe away a tear or two.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be like the hardest thing for her.
It's difficult to be young. It's difficult to be old, too.
Just difficult. All right, so you depart. Maybe buy up some extra supplies, rations, whatnot.
Extra supplies,
Restock.
rations, Sujamma, alcohol.
Less alcohol?
I'll go easier on it now that I'm teaching. I'm still gonna need it at the end of the day, though.
Get some skooma.
I don't think
None of that shit. You
I
get
don't
that
thi-
out of this group.
I don't think we're going that hard, Casey.
No moon sugar based products allowed.
It's drugs.
Wynn just casts like a weary glance at what you guys are saying.
If anybody ever offers you skooma, Win, do not take it.
Yeah, just say no.
If somebody ever asks you to go scuba diving,
Tell them no thanks. You're too cool for that.
Well, we already know you would never get offered skooma, Bertolus. You look like too much of a
Yeah, you
upstanding citizen.
You look like a town
Mhm.
guard without the guard uniform.
It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's just that no one's ever gonna offer him drugs, so we would never worry about it.
So are you implying only cool people are offered that and therefore he's not cool enough?
I'm saying you're naive, Win, and someone may try to take advantage of that.
Right. And she's
So she's a
definitely
naive and I'm uncool. What is with you, elves?
not- we're elves.
I
and
never
everyone-
said I was cool.
We're elves and everyone hates us. We have a complex about it.
Well,
To
everyone
be clear,
hates you.
we've been in a group for a couple of months now, and this is the first time skoom's been an issue. So I believe it means that no one is regularly coming up and asking us to give us skooma, whatever that is.
But if they
You know what? I'm gonna show you wrong. I'm gonna go find someone to sell me some skooma.
Oh god, we don't have time for this.
No,
we
I'm
don't
kidding.
have
I'm
time
kidding.
for your drug habits.
Oh,
But I could if I
go.
wanted to.
we just go edit my backstory real quick to include a secret drug addiction that no one has found out about yet.
so you leave the city.
Oh, that's what alchemy is.
Drugs.
Walter, what?
Alchemy.
You'd have a lot more money if that was the line of work you were in.
I would.
Well, you need to.
I would also probably like cities and be a little more sociable.
Yeah. Well, sadly, you would need a large supply of moon sugar, and never mind. I'm not gonna say the rest.
One of the Clavicus Vial would give you some skooma. When
Yeah, I'll bet he would.
Nah.
Would one of the Daedric princes like to take this Daedra off my hands?
It's a dangerous ask.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because, like, if Hermaeus Mora's got, like, a sweet book she'd like to give me.
Like
What? That sounds like a terrible idea.
Look,
Hermaeus Mora is probably a very good Daedric prince for Razor to follow. She's
Look,
got
I
a lot
would-
of knowledge in her weird
I would
tentacly
rather
shadow layer of
have
death.
an iffy Daedric book from Hermaeus Mora than a goddamn Daedra who will literally slit my throat whenever he gets the first opportunity.
Okay, alright, okay, yeah.
It's like, this thing I need to get rid of at
don't
some
you have
point.
a book?
I sort of have a book. I mean, I've got that book of Daedra, but it's like if I could somehow use that book to get in contact with one of them, that'd be great. Take this Daedra off my hands, please.
Well, I mean, there were notes in it, right?
Yes.
Just, you know, for no reason mentioning that at this particular moment. Yeah.
Just gloss over that. So, we leave town.
So you leave town.
Yeah, we leave town while I'm looking through this book at these notes.
Let me see. Let me pull up.
Really enjoy the fact that our clearly an old mage, Dunmer, was followed around town by a behemoth in Daedric armor and a very probably poorly fitting cloak and a definitely not assassin, just for however long we went shopping.
And I hated every minute of it.
I believe it was +2 to all intimidation checks.
Only +2? Come on.
Well, that's the standard +2.
Fair.
It's like, I definitely drew some attention to myself. That's for sure.
Specifically, Rob, again, there's a note in the front about madness masking the path ahead
Yes.
and hidden knowledge showing the way.
Mm-hmm.
On the last page, there's a drawing that appears to be drawn in blood. It looks like an Elder Scroll.
You know, because blood scribbles are exactly the scribbles you want to follow.
There are additional notes scattered throughout the book. I like, as if, somebody was going through the Book of Daedra and underlining important things and noting stuff. But there's also like partially described like rituals that Daedra do that like probably Kevin over here could perform for you. If you really want.
You know, being a Deidre and all.
Well,
but yeah, that's in the book.
I'll definitely bring that up to Kevin and be like, would you like to get off the material plane?
Would you like to please go away? Thank you.
You hate being in my service. I know that. Help me get you out of here. And then you don't have to deal with me anymore.
Okay, so yeah, you're just looking through that book this day, as you travel on horseback out of the city.
It's like either that or I'll give them to Shea Gorath. That'd be kind of amusing.
Straight east, pretty much. There's a road that eventually forks with the North Road going up to Dragonstar and the East Road to Elenir. The mountains come into view. The big old Giral Mountains up ahead of you as you're traveling kind of down along there. The border, the edge, whatever, the foothills.
Yeah, it's a massive mountain range up ahead of us.
Oh, thank God.
And eventually there's...
Did you miss the trees?
I did.
There's a road that will branch off to the east that goes straight to Elenir. Is it another road, I think, keeps going south down into Cyrodiil. So this is going to take over a week, especially it'll slow down as you get into the rougher terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Practicing magic, any other specific things? What do you guys want to do? Again, you have lots of time just spending, you're just there with each other. Right? Mm-hmm. The only people to talk to. There's people you encounter on the road. Most of them ignore you. Some give weird looks to the... Well, I guess you're now cloaked, Kevin.
Yep.
Up.
At a certain point, I'm gonna give one of these rituals a try.
Ooh.
I'm probably gonna go off by myself to do this, because I... not exactly super 100% safe, so...
Oh, cool.
The least people I put in danger, the better. So, myself.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Vale could watch and learn something about conjuration magic.
No, I don't want him to...
I don't think that's a good idea.
You should at least have somebody go with you just in case something comes out of that book or something.
Fine, Neil Ilflineth.
Why me?
Because you're the most likely to... I don't know.
Really? I
most
think I should
likely
be the
to
one there.
Bertolus, you're too young for this.
I'll go.
Bertolus has literally saved your life, Razor. More, or maybe at least once, but potentially more.
Oh, that's fair.
And I tried another time, but that was unnecessary.
Yeah, that ended up getting me hurt more than I thought I would. Fine. I'll take Bertolus.
Okay.
Done.
most of these rituals require some sort of blood or body parts. You find one that's it's like hair and blood are the two of the prime ingredients. You think there's maybe more to it. You can make a scholarship roll to try and fill in the remaining, because like I said, these are partially described. It's almost like someone purposefully held back information to make it really difficult to figure out what these
Of course
rituals would
they
do.
Of course they did. They wouldn't. Why would they make it easy? That just seems
It's
silly.
secret knowledge.
What kind of roll is that?
If it's regular knowledge that you know of, then it's not a secret.
Right. Yeah, and since this is
Scholarship.
considered a Daedra, I'll spend a fate point to tap what is Child of Azura. So
Oh,
Since it's-
interesting.
yeah, so this is involving the Daedras, and I'll tap that. So that'll make it a 7.
I'm having a heck of a time with chat.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what I want to exactly happen here.
I'm doing this ritual.
So
Daedric-
do you use
Daedric princes, come on down.
you use your own blood in hair?
Yeah, I'll use my own blood.
Do you cut your hand and
I'll,
cut a little
but,
bit of hair
but
off?
before I do that, I'll look at Bertolus very seriously. Like this, this ritual demands blood, and pull out my knife and stare at him, and then I'll cut myself.
Bert just kind of
Remember-
stares at you like,
I really like this because we are on the quest line that leads to the blood of the dragon. So I'm just I like this weird accidental foreshadowing.
Right.
Yeah, so you cut your hand, put a little blood into a bowl, put your hair in there, and you think based on maybe some of the other information in the book, what's being highlighted on the pages, you're like, okay, he's put some of this stuff in here. You maybe bum alchemical ingredient from Neo or something. But she probably doesn't let you. That'd be realistic. She probably won't.
You'd have to make a trade. You willingly give me 3 bottles of booze, and you can have whatever alchemical ingredient you need.
And what if it's your heart?
Then I will charge you 5 bottles of booze.
Fine.
Oh wow.
For
Really, the joke's on you. I don't have a heart.
a human heart.
5 bottles for your heart? That's
It's
a
a
steal.
heart, actually.
Well, I know it's a price he cannot pay because he would never give up 5 full bottles of booze. So,
That's
especially
all
when
he
you
has left.
7.
Side note: the map is covering up half of your face,
sorry, I forget that
Bertolus
it's
and
there.
Vale. So
That's okay.
we had some fun with it, but Chad told me I should tell you. So
Thank you.
That's okay. If I just lean over here, I think.
I forget that.
Other side.
like,
Other way, other way, other way.
I can still see.
Oh, okay.
There you
There's
go.
like a 20-second lag, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll give my blood. I don't need to pay your price, Neil Lilfaneth. Yes, cover Neil's face.
I mean, in theory, I don't make that many facial expressions anyway.
Right.
Stoic and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, Neil Lilfaneth's 2 faces: stoic and disappointed.
Perfect. This map is
Flawless.
far more informative.
This map is far more informative. Yes. 10 out of 10 would agree. So yeah, I do this ritual. Gonna try and get in contact with any of these Daedric princes. Come on down!
Something
Hoping Hermaeus
happens. You
more,
know enough here that you with your scholarship, you do realize that in order to perform this correctly, you're gonna need the rest of whatever notes you're missing, whatever information you're missing,
Right.
but you still manage. There is the bowl, like the contents of the bowl, bubbles and boils. You kind of feel the magic moving around, and you run into that wall.
Mm-hmm.
There's the thing that is separating Oblivion from Mundus, from Nirn.
Mm-hmm.
And you it's almost like you can magically feel it sort of blocking access to the power. So what it bubbles and boils and smells weird, and like there's kind of a swirling of like air, and like the dirt kind of brushes around and leaves kind of move a little bit. And then it stops boiling, and you've just got a bowl of nasty, weird, transmogrified blood hair.
Gross.
Wow, that was real impressive. Some wind.
God damn it! And there was no magical way to punch through the wall.
Behold, Razor,
You know what-
destroyer
you know
of
what,
cities.
You think it's weird? The wall you ran into, it's got a like similar feel to it as when you lose your spells. I'll give that to you. We'll give you something.
That raises a lot of questions, actually.
Sure does.
So we done here, or
Yeah, I put the bowl down, and then I've been taking swigs from my basically this bottle my flask that I've got. And I'll just kind of like take the flask out and look at it, and I'll just sort of like look off in the distance as I just pour the flask out. And then just put the cap back on and put it in. And they're like, yeah, let's go back.
What?
yeah, okay. You feeling all right?
I have a lot to think about, and this gave me a lot of. I need to be cleared of mind to think about this.
Wait, you weren't clear of mind when we started?
Why are you
Oh.
shocked?
Anybody can do this.
Apparently you couldn't.
It's like, well, there are extenuating circumstances for why this didn't work.
Was it the booze?
No, it was not
It's the whiskey.
booze. It wasn't the whiskey either.
Who's whiskey?
I'll explain it to you when you're older.
Regardless, I've come to a realization.
Patronizing elf.
Right.
I've come to a horrifying realization.
Go on.
I don't know if you would understand it. I'll try to explain it.
Patronizing elf.
I'll try to explain it so your simple Breton mind can understand.
I see the
Brenton's
booze
over
is
here
not
with some of the
worn
best-
off.
For some of the best naturally gifted spellcasters in all of Tamriel.
Well,
But yeah.
but they're not elves.
So not
so
To be fair, I probably don't actually understand much about spell theory, and I am an elf.
yeah, which is a travesty, by the way.
Fucking Dunmer.
I think my powers might stem from oblivion. To put it simply.
That's what you think I couldn't understand?
Well,
I mean, that's pretty easy.
there's more nuance to it than that.
Sure.
Obviously. But the long and short of it is, yes, that's
You nuked a city and you survived
right.
somehow.
And
Wait, your powers or like everyone's powers?
well, it might be others. It's
I mean,
very
I know this
possible.
may surprise you, but I can also cast spells.
Well,
Spell, singular, but still.
I'm aware of that, and we're working on your soul trapping, and that's going to be beneficial to you in the future.
Oh yeah, we gotta do that.
But but yeah, no, this is interesting. I ran into the same wall that I have when I try to cast spells and it fails. Which means that my powers are somehow tied to this rift between us and Oblivion? But why? That doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be, and yet it is.
Well, where did you think magic came from before?
Well, it comes from the Ethereum.
The stars.
Surely you know surely you know of Magnus.
Uh-huh.
Magnus, the god of magic, tricked by Lorcan to create to create the world ostensibly.
One of the many myths, yeah.
Right. Lorcan created the world, basically tricked the gods into tricked the gods and the Daedra technically to create the world. Magnus figured it out a little too late and tried to escape. When he tried to escape, he made a hole in the universe that is the sun, more or less.
Manifests physically as a sun. Yeah.
Right. It manifests physically as the sun. Like, I mean, you can argue, but basically, the theory stands that the sun is just a hole in the universe that magic comes from. And the stars are lesser
Magic is
magical
hot.
entities that also escaped by punching through holes. So basically, all the stars and the sun are just holes where magic seeps in.
Huh.
So magic is
Okay.
just incredibly complex photosynthesis.
Sure, we'll
But
go with that.
Huh.
But magic from Oblivion is different. That's their own. That's their own plane. That it has its own rules, and they get their power from it from a different way that we get power here. It's like my power is tied to Oblivion.
As we've
somehow.
established, they're like the sword singing, the dwarves' magic, and the Thu'um. They do not come from.
Yeah, they don't come. They don't come from Magicka. They don't come from where traditional Magicka comes from.
Where
All of
does
those
that
things-
come from?
I don't know. With the Thu'um, it comes from Akatosh. It's literally a divine gift that is given to a specific group of people who have dragon souls in them. Dragons have it because they're the children of Akatosh. But
How do I get that? That sounds dope.
well, I mean, you'd have to be dragonborn, and there's no way to know that until you kill a dragon.
And okay, back pocket that, but
I mean, if we find a dragon and you kill it and absorb its soul, then you'll know. But, I mean, yes, theoretically, Bertolus, you could be dragonborn.
well, okay, just backing up just real quick. You said something about you sometimes get blocked,
Well,
and that felt the same way?
Yes. Like I said, after Vivek, after I destroyed the city, I was
Yeah.
encased in a crystalline substance that was relatively similar to Welkin stones. And when I was broken free, I didn't really remember anything. But ever since then, I haven't been able to cast magic as I used to. I found myself unable to cast the simplest of spells when I first woke up.
Well, then it sounds like your power doesn't come from Oblivion, but Oblivion is somehow blocking you.
Well, I think the fact that Oblivion is cut off is the reason why my magic is not working so well. I think if we re-establish the connection between here and Oblivion, my magic will be restored to where it was.
But nobody else seems to have that problem.
And that's the conundrum, is why is my magic different from everyone else's? Why does my magic come from Oblivion and when it shouldn't?
Is it the booze?
No. It's like I shouldn't be able to cast spells like a Daedra. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not Daedra in any way, shape, or form.
Well, hold on. You just talked about Dragonborn, and when the Dragonborn kill a dragon, they get super special powers, right? So
Well,
maybe you're Daedraborn.
That's divine. Daedraborn.
Well, Daedra are divine, right?
Or perhaps something happened that
Despite how
mixed.
crazy that sounds, that's not as stupid as it is.
What was that, Win?
Yeah.
Oh, nothing.
I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
I am curious as to hear.
You started, and I was like, oh.
Win looks a little like she like flushes because she still doesn't understand exactly what she was going to say. But perhaps your essence mixed in that explosion somehow with that of whatever was in Oblivion, and now you are something different and reborn.
Yeah, how many gates were open in Oblivion when that rock smashed in there?
There were. Well, they had to open 3 smaller gates to open the 4th larger gate with the siege engine.
So at least.
So there were at least 4 gates.
And I don't know much about Vivek, but I do know that he was an incredibly powerful spellcaster, bordering on immortal or divine.
Yeah, and you
some.
were mucking with his magic
That's fair.
because he's the one who held the thing up.
He did hold the moon.
Yeah, I wonder what happened. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, he did hold it up with his own. Yeah, and the last person who achieved the state of magic that Vivek achieved ended up becoming the 9th divine. So.
Yeah. Who had some time up here near Sancretor at some point, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, good old Tiber Septim.
There will always be 9 divines. I don't care what the Nords say. Or the Altimer. I don't care what the Altimer say.
I don't care what the Altimer say. There will always be 9 divines.
Pluto will always exist.
Pluto will.
It's always going to be a planet. You can't teach me otherwise.
Planetoid.
It's a planet, Aaron.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I'm going back and coming with this realization. I'm going to have to come to grips with this. Wow. Damn.
Be careful with your assumptions, though. That's all I'll say.
Right. Well, yeah, there's
Nope,
still,
he's a Daedraborn.
yeah, there's still Daedraborn.
Probably don't advertise that. The Daedra aren't exactly well thought of outside of, the people that worship them.
Right.
I mean, nobody likes dragons.
I mean,
well, I mean, if you walked around saying you were Dragonborn, the last person who did that was, the Emperor. So.
they probably just assume that you're crazy. Maybe they'll assume that you're crazy if you tell them that he is Daedraborn. Give it a shot. Let me know what happens.
Or don't. Let's keep this to ourselves.
Yeah, like we should have kept Kevin to ourselves.
Well, that was an accident. A funny accident, but an accident nonetheless.
Does remind me, Vale, I know you're very proud of your parentage, but maybe, for the sake of safety, we not tell that to everyone we encounter.
Oh, why not?
Oh,
I
goodness.
know you may not have had the same experiences in life as I might have, but there are people who would take issue with such a claim, be it true or otherwise. If they don't believe you, they might decide to prevent you from continuing such a claim. Or, if they do believe you, there are those who would use your mother's power for nefarious purposes. I know that's hard to believe, but they are out there.
I like Sheo Gorath in the chat. Daedraborn? I'm not even closer to a sock than a Daedra.
Well, he's closer to a ham sandwich than a sock. So there.
Maybe they
Good,
might
got
take that
'em.
as a compliment.
Got him.
So what you're saying, Neil, is that I should perhaps evaluate our company a little bit before being fully open with them.
Yes, just as we keep the Elder Scroll a little more under very specific circumstances for sharing,
You still
maybe that
have-
too should also be
You still
very
have-
specific
Sorry.
for sharing.
Well, yeah. Luckily, people don't ask about the Elder Scroll very often, so it's easy to not talk about it.
Very true.
But if anyone did ask about an Elder Scroll, we should not talk about it.
That would probably be a very good sign that we shouldn't mention it unless we know for sure that we should. Like with the Sibyl of
might be-
Dibella.
I might try to stab anyone who asks us if we have an Elder Scroll.
Well, I will tell them I don't know anything about it.
Perfect.
What do you?
Which is kind of true.
Do you have? You've got this the Elder Scroll, which I assume you just pretty much keep on you all the time in its little tubey thing.
I mean, we keep it in the tubes. and-
Yeah. What do you do with the Song of Life? It's bigger. I mean, you could carry it around with you, theoretically, or you could get a bag that's big enough, a sack, and like have a horse, strap it to your horse.
I
you
mean,
get
probably in
horses?
a saddlebag.
If we got horses, it's totally in a saddlebag.
Okay.
My saddlebag?
I mean, if you want. I assumed it would be with Wynn, since
That
it
makes sense, too.
interacted with her spirit bird.
Wynn's saddlebag.
Bird's name is Tair.
The weather gets
Yes.
cold. The weather is starting to, especially this night, a storm is kind of blowing in. Not like a horrible like storm, but like the wind picks up a bit. It
The
starts
northern
raining, a
winds
cold
blowing.
rain.
Yep. We're getting
I look happy. Oh no, wait, I'm stoic. I have no reaction.
well. I think,
But there's a lighter like step to you.
yeah. Well, you're in the
I
woods.
think if I look close
there's
enough.
nothing Plus, however, this is a little bit of a colder rain than you're probably used to in Vardenfell.
It's been a little
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, Vale's never been in the north really either. So he's definitely like curled up in his cloak or whatever.
Presumably, knowing we were going into the mountains, I would have enforced / done it without your consent, but purchased warm clothing for all of us.
Mhm.
Wouldn't High Rock be a little cold?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, so I'm
desert
not
nights
unused
are
to this.
typically pretty cold too.
We just usually have a fire. Oh no, wait, we travel at night. So we have the movement getting us warm. Physical labor and whatnot.
Yeah. Yep. But once we get here, we'll start moving in the day to keep warm, and then at night we'll need to bundle up and get a fire.
It takes 5 stone and 2 wood.
Good. As it should.
Hmm.
How would we feel about purchasing a tent?
I mean, probably pretty good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna buy us a
Nice.
I would
tent too.
call it 25 septums.
Alright,
And then we
For
can
a tent?
cuddle.
we can pretty easily afford that, even if we don't sell anything.
And then we'll cuddle with Hermaeus Mora.
Right.
And hey, beggars can't be choosers.
Tentacles keep me warm.
Yeah, I was about to tentacles.
Yeah.
I don't think tentacles and cuddling go together. It's just my personal preference.
I mean, if it wraps completely around you, so it's gonna choke your life out of you. I mean, it will keep you warm for a wee bit.
Cuddle buddy tentacle cat is a tin field.
Oh boy. All right, into the mountains we go.
Yes, Greg.
He's not wrong.
Well, everyone needs Tinder to start fires so they can stay warm.
Right, exactly.
That was so good. I would give you a fate point if I could.
Yeah, actually, I forget all the time. Yeah, take a fate point. We haven't spent any this whole session, but oh no,
No.
we spent one.
Yep.
Rob did. Take an extra fate point. Save it for later. We'll let it roll into the next session.
Let it ride. Dope. Yeah,
Take it. I forget.
we'll continue through the mountains. While I
You get fate points for good chat stuff. I don't know.
I'll continue my lessons during the day, and you'll also probably notice that Razor's drinking a bit less.
What?
I may or may not occasionally commit theft to gift Bertolus one of Razor's bottles of booze.
Thanks.
Probably only like once every couple weeks or so. But he does something I consider impressive. Properly dodges an arrow without breaking it.
You
Nice-
guys
Nice training method, Pavlov.
Mm-hmm.
come to a town where, like, just a little village that the road just kind of goes by. Are you or the trail going off road in this territory is difficult. So you can stay off the road if you want to, and but you do have to stay close to it because it cuts the path of least resistance, basically. I mean, you could climb directly over hills and mountains and things, but at some
We
point
should
you're gonna
probably
have to
stay on
stick
the
to
road.
trail.
I mean, no
By the
point
nine
me
divines,
having
stay
to
on the
stay
road.
On the road.
By the 9 divines, stay on the road. The wilderness just isn't safe anymore.
Okay, good. So you pass a village then. I mean,
Ah.
either way, you guys are off-roading it, or it's the village is poof, poof, there. Where there's some commotion going on. Like the villages are all gathered in the center of the little, they have 15 buildings here. There's basically shepherds in this area.
Yeah, putting the cloak
And woodsmen
on
and
putting the cloak on our Daedra to go investigate.
Hup. Oh, we're talking to them? What if we continued? We are on a world-saving mission here.
I understand we're on a world-saving mission, but this might be pertinent to our world-saving endeavors.
Shepherds
So
gathered
there's
in a small
conflict up here,
village.
and it is best we see what that conflict is.
If you say so, Vale.
Oh, I see. So if Vale says so.
I mean, he is the chosen one.
Oh, and I'm chopped liver over here. I understand.
Pretty
No,
much.
you're just a minion of the chosen one.
Just like the rest of us.
I mean, I know my place in fate. You should accept yours.
What are we, a cult? God.
it's always an option.
Wynn is just like shaking her head as you
guys-
guys were interacting.
My knowledge and expertise is pearls before swine.
Interesting. I mean, you guys are talking to gods who have cults, or I mean, all the Daedric princes have cults, and you guys seem to be interacting with them.
And yet they're more of a regular religion than anything else.
So yeah, this village, center of town. There seems to be like a trial of sorts that's been happening that has gotten a little bit out of hand. There are groups who are like shouting at each other. There's one large group and then a smaller group that are kind of shouting at each other. The gist of it is the mayor is being accused of being a follower of Vermina.
Who? What?
Okay, so he's being accused of being a follower of Vermina?
Yeah.
Who's Vermina?
Last I checked, that's not a crime, but okay.
I mean, there are worse Daedric princes to follow, for sure.
Vermina is the Daedric Prince of nightmares and lies.
Generally pretty negative, but she can do dreams that warn of evil things. Portents, I think. Omens? Omens.
I mean, she
The Dream Weaver.
Though it is typically not a good thing to be a follower of Vermina in a, public setting.
Well,
If
she
it
is-
warns you of bad things about to happen, I would not see why that is so evil.
Well,
Well,
she is the third
nightmares.
member of the tribunal, so
Some
Yeah.
people like sleeping
This
without
isn't,
dreaming of horrible
Morrowind,
things.
yeah. This I understand that this isn't Morrowind, but yeah. If you accuse somebody of worshiping Vermina in Morrowind, like this wouldn't happen.
Be like, so what?
It'd be like, and it's like, I mean, if the old technically the new tribunal caught wind of it, they might be upset, but like the new tribunal is gone ever since,
Right, and the tribunal and the cult of Vermina aren't necessarily the same thing either.
No, not necessarily the same thing, but yeah, Vermina has always been held in rather high esteem in Morrowind, so.
But, everywhere else, people have a tendency to focus on the whole nightmares and psychological torture that can come
Also-
with, constantly dreaming of terrible, terrible things. So
Mm.
there's that. Also, Daedric princes aren't very highly regarded in most places in the world.
I'm picking up on that.
Yeah. Even the nice ones.
All right, let's go.
According to
let's go.
Lucas,
Nice.
under the Empire, Daedra worship was a crime. But
Well,
hard to
know.
tell if the Empire itself... It looks like these villagers, it's their own. Like, there's no Imperial officers standing around.
I doubt they enforced that law.
Well, they left the shrines in the woods unmolested, so.
Yeah, it's
So-
like it was probably one of those laws they never really enforced.
The question is, do you guys want to get do you get involved?
I definitely
look-
get involved.
To Vale.
I mean, are they like about to hang someone or something, or what's
no.
going on?
Nope. There's no gallows or anything. But they are upset. Hold on, let me look at something real quick.
I'm not about to let a person hang because they said a prayer to.
However, who are we to step in on such matters?
It's not like we're a local authority.
Sometimes having a neutral arbiter can help in settle disputes such as this.
It'll depend on what he's done.
Yeah, I mean, I think that gathering information a little bit is important. As a side note, I have a stunt for this that I've never used to roll all the way back to our pregame conversation.
Right, I was going to say callback.
I mean, I'm following you, Vale. I got no dog in this fight.
So
I prefer there not to be one.
yeah, you get involved there. Razor?
I'm gonna go up to someone and like ask them, what did they do? Why is this such a big deal? Kind of thing.
Well, who? They look at you. Who are you? Strangers in a village up in the mountains. He's kind of.
We're travelers heading north.
Can I get a
east.
speech roll from you? Just to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
a general sense of your impression on this guy, and the games do impression rolls, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing. We'll gamify this a little bit.
Look, something I'm good at.
Yes, you're good. So, yeah, he's kind of shocked. He's who are you? And a couple other people notice on the edge of the crowd here, the small crowd.
I'm a concerned traveler. I saw the commotion. I'm curious what is causing your consternation.
You have arms. You have weapons. If it comes to it, you could help us. Serve justice. 2 days ago, a group of strangers came into our town, and they were clearly cultists of Vermina. One of them was seen with Daedric symbols. And the words clearly came out.
I try not to look at Kevin as they're saying this.
The mayor, they went straight to the mayor and asked him for help, and he's been protecting them because he's one of them. I like, Rob, are you listening to that right now?
I might be listening to that.
You can hear it just a little bit. Just, I don't know if it comes through on the stream, but
I think it comes through a little bit.
but we can hear just a little bit of Clavicus Vile
Who's
talking there in the background.
Chatting at me right now. I'm listening to this. Please hold.
But yeah, she says the mayor protected these people and won't give them up, and so we figured we could remove the mayor.
What did these folks do to all of you?
They clearly had. There's rattling in my room. Just a strange rattling. I don't know what that was. Sorry.
The ire of the Daedric Lords.
It's just like.
Strange rattle.
I think someone is running the dryer downstairs or something. Yeah. All right. Where was I? They came into town. They were. Some of them had blood. They had weapons, and some of them were covered in blood. Clearly, something happened.
But they did nothing to the people of this town.
Not that we know of. No.
Why is your mayor protecting them?
He says that we can't just accuse strangers of being cultists of Vermina without proof. But we have proof.
Okay, I'm going to do like, there's a big crowd, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to do the like step up thing and give a large speech about listening to everybody's story and not jumping to conclusions, and then until they've done their and that perhaps the wisdom of your mayor was good and support him and all of that stuff.
A kid is lecturing adults.
Do you want to do another speech?
Yeah, no, I mean, I get my +2 for demagogue if I do to the large crowd.
Yeah.
So my odds are pretty good that, especially because I have a huge number of fate points that I've not touched the entire session. So, and I'm here to bring peace and here to help. So I've got tons of aspects of Ray available. So I'm going to do it. I'm spending a fate point for 2 more on that.
Make it a 7.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, so what was that? No, don't judge early. What else? What's in your...
I mean, don't judge, trust the wisdom of your mayor, and if there is proof that they have done evil things, then that is what is important, not that they follow the Daedric princes or that, but rather the actions that they take themselves are what define their character.
Yeah, so for the rest of you guys, frickin' Vale hops up. They have like this, I don't know, he hops up onto a pole, the edge of a pole, standing with his chest kind of pumped out, and the Vale can project. Like, he starts giving this speech, and his voice goes over top of this arguing back and forth, and eventually people quiet down as he's like getting their attention, giving this impassioned speech about, yeah, I mean, just not judging, not jumping to conclusions, letting the facts of the case be the guide, not judging people for having different beliefs, whatnot. And most people kind of nod, and the mayor kind of gestures in thanks as his smaller group was kind of, losing their ground. They stop this sort of like criminal, like thing that could eventually lead to burning people at the stake type of situation. And instead they're like, okay, we're just going to do another election. And for mayor, we're just going to do a new, if the mayor wins, great. If we get a different mayor, good. That's kind of the decision. And the current mayor is actually kind of happy with these results. And he approaches you. Imperial guy, gray, kind of long gray hair, shaved face. He's kind of lets it down to his shoulders. Walks with a cane, so he kind of comes up to you. Not frail necessarily, but it looks like he had an injury in his legs at some point in his life. And he comes up to you. Hail, travelers, who I should thank you for coming into my town with such wisdom.
He may be young, but he is wise.
No.
We have traveled far, and our time here is short, but certainly any place we can bring a little more peace and happiness, the better.
I can get you a discount. I shouldn't probably shouldn't be seen giving you favors. But I can probably get you a discount at our. Well, it's not really an inn so much as just a large barn that we sometimes rent out to travelers who come through. Mr. Stoneborn, his big barn over there has plenty of space.
Freshly
Sounds solid.
If you would like.
Yes. Mr. Stoneborn sounds like a Nord.
Yeah.
We would be most gracious to accept
Stonebjorn.
Yeah, we'd be most gracious to accept this hospitality.
What are the followers of the cultists doing? Are they staying in town as well, or are they decided it is best if they move on?
They're currently over at my house. It's the only safe place for them at the moment. They are planning on leaving soon, though. And they're not followers of Vermina. I must dispel of that notion.
Not that there's anything wrong with that specifically.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. I agree. Of course. What was your name again?
My name is Vale.
As Vale said, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I'd be curious as to your relation with Vermina, but of course, if this is just a false accusation, then that's also understandable too. But
He's
I
hiding something.
I find myself curious about this situation, as someone who's a non-biased judge towards people who's.
He very obviously winks at you when you say, "I'd be curious to know about your relationship to Vermina." He does a bad job of making it like subtle, but he goes basically.
Ah, gotcha. So we'll speak later then. Cool. We'll speak more in private somewhere else.
Perhaps.
I mean, you could also introduce us to these strangers that Vale has just prevented from.
They're
Lynch.
actually kind of wanting some privacy lately. They were through some traumatic experiences just recently that I cannot disclose.
Alright.
Which is why I've been protecting them.
Uh-huh.
When people come to you for help, it's the right thing to do. You just keep
Yeah. That's basically all that one is doing.
Yeah.
Well, since I'm not really a talker, I guess I'm not needed here. I'll go gather some supplies from the surrounding wilderness.
Cool.
Don't wander off too far.
I better stay near Vale.
Do you wander off stealthily? Do you?
That's most assured.
I make a show of going into the woods, assuming there's woods in these mountains, and then I'm going to sneak up to the mayor's house.
Okay.
And I'm going to
Great.
go have a private chat with the mayor.
All right, private chat with the mayor. That's fine. You're gonna sneak off and.
And I act as Vale's bodyguard.
You do that.
Does your private chat with the mayor include like Vale and Bertolus and Wynn, or is it just and Kevin?
I mean, I kind of have to take Kevin with me, mostly because I have to keep an eye on him, lest another situation where he's like, "Surprise, boo!"
Aha!
Yeah, I can't.
Look
I
who's
can't.
got a Daedra with him. Oh.
Yeah, I can't. I can't risk that happening again. So I gotta keep.
Old man Jenkins. Hey, it was me all along,
Old man Jenkins, you were the
got-
Daedra the whole time.
and I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling mayor.
If you weren't for your meddling elves and your human sidekick. Is it funny that
Bertolus, where are
Bertolus
you?
is the
Got
human
some work to do now. Okay,
It's we're having fun.
ooh, got a 6 on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Bertolus, you're gonna be happy when I'm dead.
If you got a mystery that's in a Scooby-Doo,
Oh, that made me
your
smile.
Don't hold back. And Scooby-Doo, if it comes to we're gonna. All right, we're almost done here. We're almost done. Yeah, 8 p.m. It's been 3 hours. Yeah. We're looking to wrap this up soon. But I got to get you. There's a spot I want to get to that we gotta. So you investigate sneakily, Neo.
Yep.
The mayor's house is like the only house here that has like it's got a tall fence around it. Not difficult for you to sneak up and over and into the yard. There are windows that you could potentially see into. As always, the door as well. You could try to sneak up on the roof. What's your thought?
I'll listen by a window, see if I can hear anything. And if it sounds all quiet, might push open the shutter a little bit and look inside.
Roll perception.
Ugh, I'll spend a fate point on that. I spy. The aspect I will tap.
What do you know? What a useful
Yeah.
aspect there. Okay, so
4 total.
we'll say you are listening at the window and you hear really muffled voices. And you kind of peek in and you see like across a closed door with light coming out and like a shadow move across. And you also, with that I spy, making that a 4, you know that there's another window that probably goes into that room that you can switch over to.
Alright, I'll go over there.
Cool. yeah, you can hear. It's hard to make out their voices. You may need to actually just squeak the window open a little bit to hear clearly.
I want to know what he's hiding, so yes.
So yeah, you hear when you come up there, you hear voices. Sounds like 3 people talking inside. None of them are the mayor currently. And one of them says, "But if they actually manage to get rid of the mayor, then we'll have to. We won't have any choice." And the other one's like, "Well, we can't resort to any more violence. It's already too questionable as to how we're going to use this thing." And the other one's like, "You guys, we have other means. We are, after all, devotees of Vermina."
Yeah.
All right.
Called that.
Dope.
We don't have to be crude. These people, we don't want to draw more attention by making a village disappear or anything. We just need to make sure that the mayor wins.
All right. Just head on back to the group now.
Cool. Private conversation. Rob, who all is there with the private conversation at the... Just you?
Wynn is sticking to her fish out of water thing.
Cool.
Now that we're out of the desert.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you guys want to stick back, it might look bad if we all go like, "Oh yeah, we just disarmed the situation here." But yeah, we're having a private convo with the mayor right now.
Yeah.
I wasn't told where to go, so I'm just chilling.
Just chilling.
So yeah,
there's the barn. They maybe get you set up in the barn first before going to the private conversation.
yeah,
Stone Bjorn. Stone Bjorn's barn. Big place. There are freaking goats and sheep and other animals that would be in Hammerfell. Tamriel has a crazy biology. There's Morrowind's the weirdest place, but there's like probably some fantasy creatures as well in here.
Yeah.
Fantasy livestock. And they get you set up in there. Kevin?
Mm-hmm.
Does he go in there as well?
Kevin is coming with me to the private conversation.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Because I'm not gonna have him scare the stable hand shitless and cause mass hysteria.
Those strangers that just came in talking about not killing Deidre worshippers on sight. They have a Deidre with them.
Yeah, they're crazy. They have a Deidre with them. One of them took his helmet off and said "boo."
Boo.
Then
Do you
we
have
kill
to
the
you have to
village.
like tell him every day, don't take off your helmet today.
Yeah, do not take off your helmet today.
Leave that thing
Do
on.
not. Don't take it off until I tell you to. Don't do anything until I tell you to.
Just follow close by. Okay.
Just follow close by and keep your mouth shut and keep your helmet on.
So he follows slowly behind you as you and the mayor kind of go for. He gives you a tour of the town as he kind of walks a long path around the edge of the village.
Yes, a fascinating hovel.
Patronizing elves.
I think that's like today's theme.
Yeah, just Elves being patronizing.
I
It's
can't
not
help.
always on purpose.
It's not always. Look, I've been alive for 200 years. You think I've seen one? I've seen one small village. I've seen them all.
I think the word you used was hovel.
Well, because it is. Let's be real here.
So rude.
He,
Yes.
yeah. What do you
I'm a
want to?
judger.
What did you want to talk about?
So, obviously, let's get these the things out of the way. You're these accusations about worshiping Vermina. I mean, yeah, obviously, here it might be frowned upon, but obviously, in places like Morrowind, nobody would even cast a second glance if you said that you were a follower of Vermina.
Well, it would perhaps be a place I could visit someday to see this lack of judgment myself.
Well, I mean, she is part of the Triumvirate.
The
The
tribunal,
tribunal.
yes.
Her, Boethia, and Azura. I'm just curious as to why your people would accuse you of more or less worshipping Azura.
People are afraid.
Well, I mean, as they should be. For me,
A year ago, the gates of hell opened up, and Daedra poured through, killing anything they found. Our village was lucky they didn't come here. But
well, luck only has a certain amount to do with anything, as anybody who's anybody knows. I, for one,
we're not a strategic.
I, for one, understand that some people had to do what they had to do in order to protect themselves.
Yes, we all do. Are you a worshipper of the tribunal?
I have followed their teachings extensively. I find myself prescribing to more of Azura's kind, but the others, all the other Daedric princes have their places. And I respect all of them equally.
Well, that is good. In a way, I do not respect all of them equally.
Well, there's definitely reason to hold a grudge against Mehrunes Dagon.
Oh, it's not Vermina. It's Azura, Boethia, and Mephala.
Mephala. I always get Mephala and Vermina mixed up.
I should have known that.
Yep, I forgot too. My bad.
I knew that Azura and Mephala, but
Yeah,
I should have known. Should have caught it when we were omitting Mephala.
Yep, we omitted that. I always get those two mixed
So
up.
never mind. That whole conversation.
Reverse that. Strike that. Reverse it. Didn't happen. But yes, I respect.
Still,
the
could go to Morrowind, where it seems that you could be more open about that sort of thing.
Well, yeah, and Morrowind is a lot more open to Daedra worship than most of the others, anyway. But yeah. So, I mean, I don't suppose there's any truth to any of these accusations.
Truth has a funny way of showing up when we least expect it and causing problems for those of us who are in public service.
Of course.
Is there something I can help you with specifically, good sir? I owe your friend Vale a... Well, I don't know how to repay him.
Well, I think that avoiding bloodshed was payment enough for him in itself. I'm sure he would have rather not have seen your township tear itself apart over some trivial matter.
He looks you kind of up and down. Are you a mage?
Yes.
Well, I can't say that I need anything right now, but how long were you staying around for?
Not long. We're passing through, simply. We have places to be.
If I have need of any of your services, I'll let you know, but it could be a few days. I
Bless you.
may need...
Election
You got
tense.
yourself muted before. Yeah.
I did mute
Couldn't have-
myself
you
because
felt
like I felt it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. You almost got away with it, too.
Now he says, now if you excuse me, Razor Mage, I need to go and make sure that my guests are being cared for and that they aren't causing trouble.
Very well. Should you have any questions about Vermina, I'll be more than happy to assist you in any way that I can.
Very well. Yes, thank you. Okay, he goes back. You can rejoin. We're all back together at the barn.
Well, he's obviously hiding something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. By the way, he does have worshippers of Vermina in his house, and they have... Hey, you probably know, what artifacts are associated with Vermina, and can any of them make a village disappear? Just no particular reason why I would ask that after venturing out into the woods.
Wynn cocks her eyebrow at Neil Iflineth.
I'll go ahead and roll a lore for that.
Also, I found a turnip. There you go.
Oh, did you actually go venturing out into the woods?
Just to find a turnip.
Just for a turnip?
Yeah, I have to be able to come back and be like, wow, there's not a very plentiful countryside. I'm just gonna... It's my plausible deniability. Plausible deniability.
A turnip.
Yep.
So yeah,
But it sounds like disaster's probably averted, as they needed the mayor to win so that they didn't have to resort to violence and make a village disappear, so they claim.
But since the mayor is going to lose, there will be violence.
Well, technically, Vermina has only really ever had one artifact.
By making it disappear, did it just mean kill everyone?
Well,
I don't know. Daedra are weird.
That's not really Vermina's style.
What if it's somebody masquerading as Vermina then? Seems like
That is a bold move to impersonate a Daedric prince and hope that you can get away with it.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
mean,
I
religion is very impersonable on it's very impressible on people, and they like to believe wholeheartedly in lies told to their faces.
If that was the case, I would have no doubt in my mind that Vermina's actual followers would have put a stop to this immediately.
Or Vermina herself. Daedric princes are far more active on the material
Well,
plane.
They used to be.
Wrong
Not
game.
so much anymore.
Fair.
Uh,
So,
but
we have a
yes.
couple of options, so far as I can tell. We can go steal whatever it is that they have, which I was very tempted to do, but I figured that would be rude after all the work Vale put in to calm everyone down. We can leave, and let them sort their own problems out. Once the mayor loses this election, he'll be kicked out and they'll all have to leave. Or we can help the mayor win.
I highly doubt the mayor's going to lose this next election.
Why do you say that?
Well, because I have a sneaking suspicion that he is, in fact, being backed by a Daedric prince. So there's that.
Oh,
Well, then we're good to go. He'll win. The followers will rest until they need to leave, and Vale has successfully stopped the slaughter of 3 to 4 individuals.
yeah, but then there's like a Daedric Princess puppet in charge of this town, and that feels a little bad.
Puppet.
I mean,
Well,
we
if they
don't
like it, they
know
can leave.
that. And if the mayor is the mayor, he's been here for long enough to establish himself and theoretically get appointed to that position to begin with. So nothing changes for the village.
Vale?
It's only a concern if we think that these folks are, in fact, ones that will lead the village into death and despair at some point. Then it
I
would
mean-
probably be best if they were not able to do so.
Only if they upset Vermina horribly and then she can cascade nightmares down upon them so they never sleep. But that's only happened rarely.
Happens.
Okay, but that rarely isn't never.
But if we, this whole Daedric Prince thing is quite a nightmare. If we
Yes,
interfere,
She knows
With-
who Vermina is. Nightmares.
Wynn gives you a look. If we
Karen.
interfere with the Daedra, or with one of their big to-dos, I guess, then wouldn't we put ourselves in more danger and thus complicate our main mission because of this?
Okay, well, I mean, you say that, but the fact
Yes.
of the matter is that everybody here. Okay, let me ask you this.
You can't save everybody.
Okay, Vale doesn't count for this little exercise, but have all of us here, I'm assuming, have had nightmares before, yes?
Yeah.
Win.
I guess, yes.
Well, if you've had a nightmare, then I hate to tell you this, but you've spoken to Vermina directly.
And?
Well, I'm just saying that's just where she is. Like, that's how powerful she is.
Then we shall not piss her off by going against some people who may curry her favor more so than most.
Right.
I mean, we could also just go talk to them. Like, I know what room they're in at the mayor's house. I think if we knock politely enough and offer our help to just get them out of here or accomplish their goals so they can leave, it's probably fine.
Mm.
I mean, when we helped Clavicus Vile with that vampire in the other village, he did give us, or gave Bertolus specifically, a very nice sword.
It's pretty nice, yeah.
Well,
There are benefits to interacting with Daedric Lords, as much as there are potential drawbacks.
regardless, I think maybe we should rest. It is late in the evening. I think we should all take a rest and
Yeah.
approach
Dale
this.
is actively falling asleep, so
Yeah, I think we should approach this in the morning. And then I might sneak off in the middle of the night. It's fine.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'll be
Where
waiting.
are you going to sneak off to?
I'm going to sneak off into the woods.
Nice.
If I see him, I'll follow him, also sneakily.
I want everybody to roll a perception.
Wynn is done with all this shit.
When is done with all this shit?
Well, actually, what I want is stealth from the
From
two of
Razor.
you, and then perception from the rest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
right.
am going to tap an aspect for I don't know. No, you know what? Never mind. Win is done with this shit.
Win
She
wants to
doesn't
go to
slur.
sleep. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna go ahead.
0-0.
I'm gonna go ahead and tag an aspect child of Azura to slip out during the evening.
I'm going to tap in Nocturnal Steps
Ugh.
to make that a 5.
5 and 3. Ooh, 3 is just barely good enough. Bertolus does not notice Razor slip away.
Thank God.
So you're going out into the woods?
Yep.
Well, give me a perception to see if you notice what's her face.
I'm
Oh.
not gonna notice.
You never know. You could roll really well. Right.
Or I could get a 1.
Nope.
Look.
All right. Yeah. You had give me a preview of your plan here,
Okay, so
so I can mess with it.
yeah, I mean, I'm just walking out into the woods.
Okay.
I've just got a feeling that I need to be out here for some reason or another.
Fair.
I don't know.
Something to do maybe with a bowl full of weird blood hair that is
Yep.
just somehow.
A bowl full of weird blood hair is telling me that I need to be out here at this point. And so yeah, I'm taking Kevin with me.
Cool. So the two of you, with Neo, unbeknownst to you, following, you kind of go on a walk and you're just looking around. You kind of come to this slight cliff face. You're kind of overlooking it. And you see down in a clearing what looks like 2 dead bodies laying on the ground next to a you might call it a shrine of sorts. And on top of it is this kind of weird tentacles looking shrine to Hermaeus Mora.
Oh my.
Looks like 2 bodies laying in there. There are it looks ransacked as well. Looks like somebody was here and it's been freaking ransacked. Neo, as you get in a look at this, you also can see what's down there.
Just observing.
Yeah, I'll go up to the bodies at the shrine and like, what happened here?
You hear a voice emanating from the shrine, and that's where we'll wrap it up. I'm gonna finish getting Jen's thing edited for next week.
Dope.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks. Great.
Yeah.
You guys are fine.
Well,
Probably.
you don't want 2 different Dijik princes involved in the same session? It'll be fine.
Well, you
Do we have somebody who's playing the Nightmare one? I don't think so.
You should have chosen a different game if you didn't want Daedric Princess to be involved.
Yeah, I don't think we have anybody as Vermina, do we?
Not for Mina, but we definitely do have for Hermaeus Mora. Well, dope.
All right, cool. Until next time, then.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And quick reminder.
Thoughts? Your dreams, real quick. Sorry, your dreams. There, the 3 of you who stayed back. You're having great dreams. Yeah. What is Bertolus's good dream?
He dreams that everyone accepts him and is very proud of all his accomplishments.
It's
You're Ron Weasley.
and it ends with like you seeing your dad. And
I'm
being
holding
like,
the house cup.
Good job, son.
Yep.
Way
What
to
about
go.
Win? What's Win's good dream?
She is back in the desert with her tribe. And her mom's there, her siblings, like everybody, and she has she's at peace. She doesn't have all this like
Peaceful.
turmoil.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is peaceful.
And then Vale. What is Vale's good dream?
I'm gonna guess it's something along the lines of uh, just nice, peaceful sleep. uh, maybe there is a dream there of
You're like
of a,
dreaming of like just being here in this barn having a good night's sleep.
we'll go with that. Sure.
Meta.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So that's the end. I think you were going to say something about a reminder there, Greg.
Yeah, I was just gonna let everyone know that we are streaming next week as well. A new thing, a little 3 episode Fighters of the Black Shield Origins, which will have some interesting dynamics. So next Sunday we're on again with something else before Elder Scrolls will be back 2 weeks from now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
Alright.
scene.
And scene. Yeah. Sorry, I was distracted briefly. Yeah, I'm going to end the thing here in just a moment. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for chatting. I'm getting better at paying attention to the chat. I think hopefully that's funner. And we'll see you in 2 weeks or next week and then again here in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
All right. I think that did it.